can count on that. You can count on it. You can count on me. You can count on me too. You can count on that. You can.
So you know.
Welcome. I should have cleared that with you.
It's okay. It's
I
fine.
should have cleared that with you. I didn't know if you was coming in on the third one.
I've heard it enough. I was going to.
It was so dry. I was like, it was so blank. I was like, I guess I should do it.
He was like, is he waiting or?
To the 3 Oak Podcast, where even the artists can be fans. AJ the Menace.
Shane and Petty.
And
Leon Gamble.
Leon Gamble's in the building. And we also just wrapped up the Friend Podcast. Friends.
How many of us have them?
Friends. And our friend,
Ones you can
Nance,
depend on.
a.k.a. Nance Raps, is in
Twitter.
the building.
I'm in the building.
Is on the building. And yeah, we
I'm
just
a
been
friend of the podcast.
Hey, yeah, friend of the podcast. Get to know him, follow him. You seen him before though. It's just
What's
been
this,
a
fourth
long
time returner?
No.
Second.
Second,
Third?
I've been here so many times.
Because I remember
but
you were over there.
Yeah,
and,
it was the second
what's
time.
his
He
name
only
was over
came
here.
once. Yeah.
Wait, well, fourth time in the studio?
Fourth time in the studio.
Oh, facts. Yeah.
Definitely came to the studio more than
Yeah,
the
4
podcast.
times. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Since we've restructured everything with the podcast, it allows for us to just have the homies on here now. So that has worked out.
Oh, damn. I thought y'all were interviewing.
What you been up to, man?
I thought this was about me.
I had a lot of stories to
I
tell.
have to go. And we all do, everybody, this is Monday morning.
Pretty much.
We've all had wild last week. You know what I'm saying?
for
Everybody,
real.
This past
we
weekend
all.
was-
So that's why I think this friend podcast is gonna be so good because there's some
gonna be good.
normalcy in this time period. You know what I mean? Like
for once this year.
for once, I want to give y'all some content that you can just, kick back and enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Because
Facts.
that is just not happening now. Like,
With
you
all the
can't-
shit.
Right, it's hard to I go to Twitter because it's the best for comedy, and I can't even do that right now.
It's not funny right
It's
now.
not
it's
funny
not.
right now. It is fucked up my favorite app. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Like,
people are trying to make some of the things funny that's
But
going
then
on,
some
but
of
I
them
still
aren't.
can't.
it just seems way too premature, though.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
does. It's a little crazy. I've seen some, none of them hilarious. It's just a bunch of chuckles. And not even a bunch of chuckles. It's just like a one-off chuckle.
Or be a meme, like a political meme that has a point or something like that. It's
Yeah.
not funny, but it's just like, oh, I get it.
It's just, all right now you're just seeing like breathtaking moments that like you have no choice but to like empathize with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of fucked
Well,
up.
I mean, some people have a choice because some people don't give a fuck. But
Yeah, I guess.
that's just kind of what's happening. You know what I mean?
Keep
And-
scrolling.
Say their names.
Say their names. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's the zoom in
Oh,
promo
I can't.
right there.
I can't. Oh, okay. Because I thought somebody profited off of black culture was saying something.
So,
That's
Sips tea.
fire. I'm pulling that out.
Sips
and I'm
tea.
dropping that. Sips to Jameson.
oh yeah, my bad. Sip James.
Sips tea.
But yeah, man, like we all came together today. Obviously, regular podcast day, but we downtown Raleigh was holding a protest, a Black Lives Matter protest, and we decided to all attend. And it was a first time experience for all of us, technically. Well, yeah, it was for all of us. I know I've attended marches, but I never been to one of Black Lives Matter movement or protest, and I've just never been out there in the streets.
Yeah.
Like
During the
thick of it, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So that was a whole new experience. That alone was. We were all talking about it before we went out there. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
because, even though it seemed like a last minute thing, there was moments of structure. I'll say that.
There were moments.
So when we went out there was definitely moments of structure, and those times felt comfortable. But then there was also moments where you're like, this shit could turn up.
It looks like there's a little disruption.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, especially like me and Leon and just people in general against the police or just black men, bro, it's like you want to get out there on the front lines, but at the same time, you don't want to put yourself in unnecessary danger because our mamas and our sisters and our girlfriends,
Exactly.
they're already stressed the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
Just by us leaving the crib.
They understand why we need to go to these type of marches and protests and stuff like that, but at the same time, you don't want to fuck that. You know what I mean?
I think Head
you gotta
Graphics.
you gotta be safe to a certain extent still. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Head Graphics. I think he put a picture on Instagram of like a sniper
Looking
like,
guy, yeah.
yeah, like way far. And
When
he
we were
put the eye
dropping,
emoji,
and
and
we
it's
were
just
dropping
like,
past Whiskey Kitchen and Emerge, there was a dude up on the roof, and he looked like the business owner, and he looked like you couldn't see it obviously because we were on the ground. But I've seen that movie in Purge in the
See it,
Purge.
white
Yeah.
dude?
It was a white dude that, it was a white dude up there.
He was just standing up there.
He was just standing up there. And clearly that means you own one of those businesses.
But we saw more than one like suspicious characters. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
a fact.
out there.
Yeah, we
So
definitely
it's
saw
like,
more than one
There's a few
suspicious.
Yeah,
suspicious
that was like
characters out there.
I feel like when we first got there, it wasn't organized.
At all,
It definitely
yeah.
wasn't.
The
No,
Capitol
it wasn't.
building.
It was
And that one dude
scattered.
walked by, that white dude would like,
Yeah, the
he was
had
just
the
fully
stuff.
hidden.
Man, when I
he had some kind of bag on.
Bro, when I
big
saw
ass
him,
beard.
I was immediately started looking around just to see if there's any more. Just to see if it was like some sort of group. You know what I'm saying? So that was a little frightening. And at that moment, I was like, well, anything can pop off at this time. I'm looking around. I see the other dude with the open carry going on while the girl is like,
that was
playing
another
the music.
moment. Yeah,
It's another
'cause
moment.
I didn't even see that. I just saw them.
Yeah.
Obviously, the music. I didn't see
Yeah.
the open
I mean, I
carry.
figured there's gonna be a few open carry people, but it's just like
It just
right in that
the-
moment,
the
it looked
way
like he
they-
was ready to. It looked like he was ready to act. Like
What was she
Yeah.
playing
Wait.
when she first came up, though?
I don't
wasn't-
know.
I don't know
That
what it was.
some-
But
that
when
was-
she walked away, it was NWA.
fuck-
we all
Police,
knew
yeah.
that, but that
And I was
first one-
like,
the
you
first
should
one
have
I don't
came
know.
in with
With
that.
that.
That
Like,
was
low
some
key.
hood shit
That-
she had on. I don't
the
know
first
what
one, I
that
don't know
was.
that
was.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but that shit was aggressive.
It was aggressive.
The
And
song
that's-
was aggressive.
And then
yeah.
that's when the other dude pulled up, like
and he got
open
a pistol on
carry.
his
And
hip.
he
You're
had an
like,
open carry
hold
on
up.
it, and he's walking low key behind her. And when she's pulling up with his energy, the cops are right
Yeah.
there. In my mind, I'm like,
Yeah.
it might
could
pop
go
right
down,
now.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah.
if it
Those
pops
are the
right
moments
now,
that are dangerous. Yeah.
I shouldn't be here just because of that. Like, so it's a weird situation to put yourself in, especially as a black man, just because it's just like, you don't want to not say anything, but it's
Yeah.
like, right now, just saying something is gonna get me killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or,
Freedom of speech.
Yeah, yeah,
It's crazy too because I mean I learned a couple things from it. One, that was my first one.
yeah.
But two, I understand why. Like I instantly, while I was there, I understood immediately why like the Million Man March was such a big thing. That was you. Yeah, I understood immediately why the Million Man March was such a big thing because they literally had 1 million black people in the street in complete.
It was organized.
It was complete organization. It was 100%. And I have a dream speech. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was organization. It wasn't. I mean, obviously that shit was happening, but I don't know that like that organization.
Yeah.
Is what's gonna make a change more than like when we first walked up there.
Wasn't organized. We didn't know where to go.
We didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Had
didn't
no
even know what
idea.
direction to go. You know what I mean?
We literally had to search for it.
Yeah.
Think about this: Million Man March before the internet.
That's a
Organizing
fact.
that.
That's a
Because
fact.
I heard
Yeah.
about this from Twitter.
Yeah. But yeah.
Like,
yeah.
think about how did that get out there?
With
Friends,
no-
a
with no
friend
social
tells a
media.
friend, a
Tell a
friend.
The
Yeah,
nation-
a
million
million.
people.
Yeah, that's a.
Word of mouth is powerful, dog. Shows you how powerful
Yeah.
it is, man.
Yeah.
Especially
And
when
it
it's
shows what the Nation of Islam was capable of too.
Doing, yeah.
Being able to put that like
together.
yeah. So I learned that because like when we first even walked up there, like the guy that was standing on top of that podium, I don't know, it was in front of the Capitol building though, but he was standing on like a little cement block. He was literally just like cursing out the police. Like that's all it was. He wasn't talking to the people to uplift the people. I mean, there was definitely some emotional moments. There was a lady over there and she was definitely going through it and I felt that shit.
Yeah.
But like the guy on top, it was too many people. When you have that many people, when you have nobody
You need a
designated,
leader.
to-
You need a
when
leader.
you have nobody
Yeah.
designated to
Yeah.
speak, it
To
can go
speak, you
left
need
at
a
any
speaker
moment.
and an
You know what I'm
actual,
saying?
Yeah.
Because whoever has the loudest voice in that moment is gonna be calling the shots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in
Because
that
no
moment, other
matter-
people are with so many people around. Other people are just allowed to follow suit or whatever else anybody else
Well,
does.
already repeating after you.
Exactly.
I'm already used to following you.
Exactly.
If you say some shit like, if you throw the first brick or you throw the first whatever, I can understand how that could turn into. That's why that structure is so important.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Like the one.
Mm.
It was an
final
experience, though.
person.
It was
it
definitely
was
an
definitely a
experience.
crazy
It was
experience.
eye-opening.
It was eye opening
Yeah.
for sure.
There's moments like, you know, you feel like the pain of it all, like
Yeah.
walking with everybody.
yeah.
And then like I was really feeling that, and then I saw Danny Blaze,
Yeah.
and I was talking to him, and he was like, "It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?"
Mhm.
And there was that like, "Oh, this is like everybody's getting together for
Yeah.
something."
Yeah.
For something.
yeah.
And it switched my perspective on like everything.
Everything.
The whole
Yeah.
situation was like, "Oh, damn." So then that's when we really started walking with everybody.
And
Right
that
after
was
we
when
saw
we
him,
went- yeah, yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, this is like."
Yeah.
This
It's
is
like
where- yeah.
obviously because of a sad situation, but now we're like coming together.
Yeah,
And
because
there's
of that,
like
yeah.
maybe think about it in a positive way.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
And it keeps you, because I mean, it's not healthy for us to let this like weigh us down to the point that we're not productive in our actual lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is something that we have to keep in the back of our head all the time. And then every so often, like times like now, it's jumped in front of our face and in front of entire Americas. But it's like, you still got to figure out a way to push through. You still need to be clear-minded enough to call the meeting, to get the right people in the room. And pretty much what Killer Mike said, you know,
Oh yeah.
meet, plan, strategize,
mobilize.
and mobilize. So you still have to have that. So when you have people that you got both sides, you need both sides equally to even understand what's going on. But it's always good to have those uplifting moments during these.
Once we found the crowd, though, it felt pretty organized.
Better, yeah,
It did. It did
Right.
feel more
Felt a lot better.
organized. And then we saw as we were leaving. That's
riot.
when it seemed like that's when things started getting a little bit more real, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as we were leaving out. So there was moments that happened when we first got there that had us a little uneasy, or at least it definitely had us on guard, just because if you're going out to these things, you need to be safe, bro. Period. So
Yeah.
but it wasn't nothing like when we were with that large group.
Yeah.
We walked past the RPD and the
And the cat bus.
not the cat bus. We saw. Oh, it was the cat bus
the
first.
cat bus first.
So pretty much the march started going down. What was it? Capitol Boulevard.
No, it was Capitol. What
It was
the-
Capitol. Yeah, like they were leaving
Oh, they were
downtown.
going towards.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the people we were walking with, like the march was
Yeah.
moving towards Capitol Boulevard, and we can't walk Capitol Boulevard. It happened, but we weren't doing that.
Yeah.
So we turned back around, and on our way back, we just strolling. This cat bus pulls up, and a police officer jumps out, and what did he say?
He
He stopped the traffic.
He stopped the traffic and was like, "Leave the door open." That's what he was yelling to the bus driver. "Leave the door
I didn't
open."
even see
I
that.
didn't.
Yeah.
I just saw the doors. That's why I thought the door was broken at first.
No,
and
he
that's
was
why
yelling
they
to
were
him-
driving.
He was yelling at him to
around.
leave the door open
I see
because he was jumping out to regulate traffic, and as he jumped back in, the bus
looked at
turns
it.
the corner, and the entire city bus is full of
riot cops.
riot cops, like
I don't know how. So.
suited up. Everybody
Riot
got
gear.
Riot gear.
Riot
type,
gear
Riot
police
gear.
They
officers.
militarized the police. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. That was their
Shields, all that stuff.
shields, everything, bro. They were in there, bro, and that shit stunned us, bro.
Yeah.
Like.
Nobody had time to take a picture. Everybody was just like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
and we were like, damn, we should have taken a picture or video of it, but we were so shocked that it was just like we were watching troops come in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it was-
the-
On like
they
a
turned-
regular bus, like you wouldn't know.
yeah.
They were
'cause-
just and in my mind, I was like, wow, that was actually like, to their credit, in this sense, that's like smarter than coming in a cop car.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, because
yeah.
you don't see it coming.
You don't
see it
expect
coming,
that
and I'm
coming,
just
and
like,
they just
holy
pop
shit,
up.
that's
They got a
where they at,
strategy
like,
for
what the fuck?
us.
Yeah.
I always thought they had the vehicle where they bust out the back
Back
door.
of the joint, right?
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
saw that on the way
That's
back too.
true.
It was like sitting in a little white joint. But
Eversoft paddy wagons, I think they call them.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was crazy, and I didn't even think about it until you said, you were like,
Yeah.
bro, this is just Raleigh, like, and this is nothing because they haven't jumped out on us and hit us with tear gas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, imagine being in these other cities like Atlanta or what is
Minneapolis.
it? Minneapolis. Like,
Kentucky did something.
bruh,
like that
it's the
too.
military. It's that, bruh.
Like that shocked us.
That shocked us. It
Just
fucked
seeing
us
that
up the
alone.
whole
Like, and
walk
that's
back
a
to the
good
car.
tactic for them, like
Yeah.
rolling up in that bus. But
Yes.
like, imagine what they're doing in other like
Places.
cities. Like you were
Exactly,
saying, like
yeah.
the one dude was like lighting AutoZone on fire. The cop.
Yeah,
That shit's
yeah.
crazy.
It's like that's technically a tactic.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
right?
it
It
is.
is,
Yeah.
like-
That's wild.
Start it. They'll feed into it, and then we.
You said the
reprimand
cop
them.
was doing it? That's
Yeah, it was a video of like a cop starting the vandalism and arson at the AutoZone that burned down in Minneapolis.
No,
So
because
there's
I've seen even other riots that has happened in the past. I have come across like videos and pictures of people like spotting undercover cops
Exactly,
dressed
yeah,
as
yeah.
like
Civilians.
protesters and
Yeah.
then starting the vandalism.
Yep.
You know,
And
not
I
even-
wasn't sure if it was true, but I was like,
And
it is.
I saw a meme, and it was like, I can't remember what city it was in, but the guy looked like a protester, but he was like this, and then you could see
Damn.
the little like the CIA.
Yeah,
shit
Maybe he
that's
just
in
had
the
the Bluetooth on.
Yeah, maybe he was chopping up with his baby, man. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah.
Yo,
it's-
mom, yeah, I'm out here. I'm
Yeah,
good.
I'm out
Yeah,
here right now.
he's
I'm
safe,
good.
you know what I'm saying?
Everything's still good.
But
I'm
yeah,
watching
somebody was
guard,
like, if you in Atlanta, like, look out, cause like they're out here.
because that's how you kill a movement. You
Yeah.
kill it by making it look violent. So that's
Yeah.
whenever I
that.
see all of these destruction happen, I'm like, is that the people or are they just making it look like we're doing it?
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
anything
Or
on
they
the
just
internet, I
started-
don't like believe in a way.
Yeah.
Like I see it, I'm like, well, let's do
It's
a
so
little more.
hard to, bro.
the
Just think
news,
about the
yeah.
coronavirus, bro.
Yeah, I
that
know.
alone, because
Like that
apparently,
alone, bro. We don't know how to get it. No
apparently
more.
anybody
You
who
know what I
has
mean?
corona, if they die from anything else, is considered a corona death, right? That's what they're saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if a bus hits me, but I have corona,
Yeah.
it's a corona death.
You die from corona death, yeah.
So
But
it's like,
even on top
what
of
the
that,
fuck?
just like when it came to like how to prevent yourself from getting it and all that stuff, it was like, bro,
how do you know? Yeah.
we had had so many
much
different
different
reports. It
conflicting
was like
information.
we don't even know how to protect ourselves.
And
So-
on the
Facts.
news, they if you notice, like they always tell you like the death toll, but they'll never tell you like the percentage of people who are getting better or recovering
Yeah,
from
give
it.
me the
They
good
never
news.
mention that
I had to look that up. I was looking that up every day. Like, there's just like
because they don't
world
tell
leader
you.
things.
They just tell you who's dying. They don't tell you who's recovering.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
the
function on
media-
fear.
Yeah, bro, that fear mongering shit is just.
Yeah, fear is their
sickening, bro.
business. They love when
But
coronavirus.
what
and
is
shit
crazy
happens.
is like, so we can't trust like news we see on the internet, right?
Yeah.
But then you see the video of George Floyd, and you're like, oh,
That's-
we know exactly.
We know
Yeah,
that
this,
is. Yeah.
this isn't a lie.
Yeah.
They got videos of it happening,
Start to finish.
stuff coming at yeah.
But
Yeah,
they have
that's
different
actually
videos
real.
of that. It's like something like that. It's hard to feel like there's no truth in that. Like
Yeah.
that's so
No, yeah, that's
straightforward.
Yeah, that's
like,
a racist guy doing.
I'm
racist
like,
shit.
you can't. And I was telling them earlier, I was reading the report today and about like how it was just over a $20 counterfeit. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like,
Fucking
he-
$20, bro.
yeah, like apparently he paid for something with kind of a $20 bill. Somebody called the cops on him.
That
or
could be an
something like
accident. Like,
It could
you could have got it
been,
from
right?
somewhere else.
Apparently,
and,
that's what
like-
they're saying this was. But I was reading the autopsy report. I guess it wasn't a full autopsy report, a preliminary joint, and they're talking about like these. They were talking about 3 different
things he already had going on.
Right, that's going
Yep,
on. I'm
I
like,
saw that.
are you fucking like for what, bro? Like we know why he died. Those 3 things
Yeah, we
have
saw the
nothing to
video.
do
Yeah.
why with what he died. Like
Even if he
they're trying to
had
say
those
there's
things-
no asphyxiation as an there's no evidence of asphyxiation or whatever as being the issue for death. But
Yeah.
bro,
It's
like
like it was coronavirus.
Right,
You know,
like, you
pretty
could've
much-
seen-
That's
Yo,
pretty much
Oh, so
the
he-
hospital
he had-
reported is
he
that
had-
like straight
Hey,
up.
he had-
The hospital would do that.
he had intoxicants in his system. He was intoxicated during the thing. He was this, he was that. Like that has nothing to do with why he died.
You saw that one thing
Are
where
you fucking kidding me?
supposedly they worked together.
No, I didn't see the one where they worked together, but I did read something where they were saying like they knew each other somehow.
So supposedly the dude that had his like knee on him,
Yeah.
Knew
they
him?
were both bodyguards at a club for like 3 years or something.
Whoa, wow.
So
Don't
people were
quote me
saying-
on 3 years, but I know
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a while.
But they did work.
like
they
some
had
kind of
they knew each
personal.
other.
Yeah, people were wondering if it was a
shit.
personal.
So it
attack.
could be something behind that, but
Still, that's
still the
knows?
fact that he can do it, being a cop, and also
Still,
white
you're a
and
cop.
get
That's the
away,
bottom line.
like,
and
You're
get
still
the
a cop.
third. They get the 3rd degree. That was murder, bro.
Yeah, like
That's not
still, like
third
okay,
degree,
you
come
guys
on.
knew each other.
Everybody's looking for a 1st degree murder. Like that's what that is.
Yeah,
and everybody involved.
And
I
I
mean,
was,
that
everybody
one
else
dude
was
stopping
going,
everybody
yeah.
in front.
but
and
that
the
one
crazy part
Asian
in the
dude
video,
was going
that,
crazy.
Yeah, the one video, like the video where she walks up, that one girl, she was saying she was like a
Doctor or
firefighter.
something. Oh yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Remember, like how, like you were saying, like, I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
yeah.
Everybody
I lost my
fucked
train
up.
of thought,
Friends.
bro.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I got lost in what I forgot lost in what you were saying.
How
But
he
yeah,
was
it was gonna go off of
how
something
he
you
was
were
saying
saying.
everybody else should be charged. That was around.
No,
Okay.
it was something else. But yeah, we could go ahead. But I lost my train of thought.
But
Talking about the autopsy.
It'll probably come back
the
to me.
autopsy part where I was talking about the autopsy and what they were saying it has nothing to do with how he died. Like
No, I can't remember.
I can't remember.
What you put in that drink? Nah,
Yeah,
I can't remember.
have I been roofied?
It'll probably come back to me as you're talking or something.
It'll come back randomly.
Yeah. And if
But,
it does, I'll be like, oh.
On that Rick Ross, huh?
Yeah.
Molly and him.
But,
She ain't even know it. He ain't even know it.
But yeah, so that was one thing that so yeah, like as we were leaving, we could see where like it was definitely going to be turning up at some point, and from what we've heard just from people that were out there, it definitely escalated. You know what I mean? They were already at standoff stage when we were leaving.
Yeah.
yeah, because
So,
we walked by.
we
Like
walked by the
police
standoff.
department. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were in that little garage area.
Yeah, it was the
suited
parking deck
up.
like leading
Yeah.
in. Yeah, and they were barricading that area and had more people coming in still from the back to support them. So
And then they had other cops on the other side already rioted in riot gear.
they had them
Sitting
already
out-
lined
already
up, bro.
lined up
Bro,
on the
that was
other
a
side
terrible
on the
area to
street.
be in.
Yeah, right in the middle, like you were saying.
Yeah, and that was like one of the things like, and bro, like I don't know, just being able to see it. I think my biggest takeaway on this is the organization, bro, is key.
It's
The
key.
org-
What
the org-
Killer Mike was saying is so valid.
The organization is key, bro,
Yeah.
because let's just say, okay, from what we saw, if this was war, they're militarizing as in war, bro. We were in a terrible spot, bro.
Yeah.
We were lined on one end here, and we were lined on one end the other end. The only way we had to go back, and there's still cops on every corner that can close in on us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
they already have a game plan.
Yeah.
They had a game
Yeah.
plan.
They
They're
met
organized.
up. They met
They're,
up.
they're organized. So if something violent did happen that wasn't legally supposed to happen or wasn't supposed to happen, you can't even defend yourself like that. You know what I mean? Like even on that march, but like I don't know, bro. It's crazy. And now Linus even got hit with some tear gas. You know what I mean? And he met up with us later.
Oh,
so
really?
they were already. Tear gas has already been deployed at this point in the city. You know what I'm saying? We weren't. We just weren't near that area.
We weren't.
But he was saying it was because they were breaking up a group. It was almost like they were breaking up a group.
Yeah. I guess like he was towards the front of the group. So and then after that, once we saw him, he was like, "This is just one of the groups." I guess everybody split apart.
Yeah.
After the tear gas situation.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like a part of the cops.
It's a tactic. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got every single person that's protesting in one area, it's gonna be harder to control them if they like go
Separate
crazy.
them.
But if you can break the crowds up so that they don't get too big,
They probably do it at like an intersection. So
Exactly.
people have like, all right, I'm gonna go this way or this way.
Yeah, and block it off for a moment of time and then open it back up maybe.
Yeah.
So
By the way, it came back.
Okay.
It came back for us. I was just saying, like, when you were saying,
better
like, there
be
were a lot of
good.
stuff. Yeah. Okay. So this is guy, right? No. Yeah. You were saying like they were giving reports and all that stuff. The stuff that was in his system and all that stuff.
Oh,
you know?
yeah,
Like,
It feels like they're trying to like give a lesser sentence.
Yeah. But
You know?
even though, like, let's say, okay, there was like weed or whatever in his system,
Bro,
you
he'd
know,
be
like.
walking around today.
So what are we supposed to be like? We're supposed to be like, oh, okay, that's why he deserved to die.
Right,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
like-
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, because this is really what killed him. No, bro,
Yeah.
we know what killed him.
Yeah.
Kidding me, bro? Like
It's the Alka-Seltzer.
May has been a weird month for me, bro. I don't cry much, bro. I've cried 3 times this month, bro.
Oh, really? For
All
any
on
particular
ridiculous
reason?
things, bro. Yeah, bro. One for that reason. The other day I was in here in the studio like 3 days ago. I actually just saw this shit 3 days ago. I know it's been going on for longer. Just 3 days ago, I was in here re-recording a record. You were just in there.
Yeah.
I'm re-recording the record, bro, and I just like decided to like just get on social media because I haven't been on there much. Y'all know that. I decided to get on social media, just look at some things because I want to like get myself back in there slowly. And I just saw that shit, bro. Killed my whole fucking vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Killed my whole vibe.
It's fucked
and
my day
Start
up.
tearing
My
up
whole
shit.
couple days,
and I
yeah.
left. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, there were other reasons I cried. I'm not gonna tell y'all. It's gotta gay, gotta whack.
Yeah. Or, you know, kind of personal.
Yeah, I know that's like a
Gay?
big term that is fucked up. Yeah, but yeah. If y'all are not like weird about it, just
Because you bought a
don't
house.
get back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
in here.
Oh, yeah, because
it
you
was
bought
a
the
suc-
house?
Well, no. Honestly, that was one of them.
Okay,
One of them,
yeah, that's a
our
good
homeboy,
cry.
Our homeboy Paul.
Yeah,
Actually,
that was a championship.
Yeah,
crowd.
that's what-
yeah.
I
Yeah.
cried when I
Homeboy
get a
Paul
new pair
said
of shoes.
something-
I feel you.
Actually, Paul, I'm gonna tell you that right now because I didn't tell you, man. He said something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul, man, you said something to me that really. He sent me an audio message, bro. I was sitting down. It's kind of weird. I was actually sitting on the toilet. But he sent me an audio message.
It doesn't matter how you receive the information.
You gotta set the scene, man.
You received it.
You gotta set the scene, make it more visceral.
Yeah. So he sent me an audio message just talking about how proud he was of what happened and everything like that. And people don't know how I guess how insecure I've been over the past like 6 years of my life. I've been very insecure, very insecure, very like just feel like I have nothing to give. I've always wanted to be in the Big Brother program. I said I'm never gonna do it until I get a house, till I have something to show these kids. Till I have something to show these kids, till I can like go to a younger child and say, hey, this is how I did what I did, and like show them all these kind of things. All these things I want to do in my life. I never felt like I was worth it because I didn't have anything to my name. You know what I'm saying? So like I felt very insecure for a very long time. And music is a great way for me to just like release myself. But yeah, like he said some words and I fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like I let all that shit out, bro. Like I was just sitting down and I just fucking let all that shit out and just like had a, like a ball.
Oh, not the literal shit.
Hey, look, on the toilet.
Let all that shit out.
You're on the toilet, man. You said you let that shit out.
See what I did there? If you don't mind me asking, so like, what'd he say?
Yeah.
Oh, he was just fuck, I think I saved it.
Yeah, it's in the text feed.
Voice memo?
There's
Yeah,
voice memo.
I think I saved it.
And I
Is
know
it
he
save?
won't mind. It said, go to our group chat. And it
I
should be
clicked
in the-
save on that shit. So
Yeah, it should be in there.
Let me here it is.
And I know
But
he
it's
won't.
about like you like getting a house and stuff.
Yeah.
like,
Is it gonna be in the like in the, if I
It'd
click
be in the-
info
I don't know.
and I go through here?
Possibly. If you go down to the bottom.
Damn, y'all texting that much? I'm just kidding.
All links. No, it's not in here. It's not in here. But he pretty much was just saying like
Yeah,
it's
you
been-
can like
he-
summarize it.
He pretty much was just saying like it's a pleasure to watch what you've been doing. Like your growth is inspiring. You've inspired
Yeah.
me. I'm very proud of what you've accomplished. You put your head down to something. I admire how you stepped away from everything and just saw something through all the way.
Yeah.
Before like there's so many people who like see me, I guess, and see that I'm not social media active or like all these other things and have things to like ask me what I'm doing next and this and that. And he actually like tapped into what I've been doing this whole time. like I'm a kind of person that likes to see certain things through without saying anything or just being anywhere. I don't really care so much about what people have to say or what to say to people until I know it's happened. You know what I'm saying? So he like acknowledged that part of it and just acknowledged the effort that I think I've been putting in, which I don't speak about much as my effort, you know.
Yeah.
And it just hit me, bro.
And it's like he understood, and that's what hit you.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
just
he
hit me, bro.
understood that.
And I just kind of let that shit go.
Yeah,
You know
bro.
what I'm saying?
Man, Paul.
So like, there's been a few
words.
times that I've cried this month.
AKA
That's one.
Big champagne.
Big champagne did that, yeah. So that's one, and then the other one, of course, this. I ain't gonna tell you the third one. Don't worry about that.
yeah. That one's for
But
the
yeah, so like this shit is
kinda wanna know.
deep.
That's
Bro.
good.
Yeah,
I'm curious now.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. It's like
It's a weird month, man.
Yeah.
I like it's thrown me off mentally. Like, you know, I've been seeing it, but that shit has escalated. It's just taking me out of it mentally a little bit, you know what I mean? But it's kind of helped. Like, I'm glad that we were all able to like share that experience together,
Facts.
you know, and go out to the march and the protest. And it's like I feel like it's helped me realize I need to double down like on my voice, like on this
Facts.
platform. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's helped me realize that too.
you know, I feel like I need to be there in person, but this is where I got the most power right now.
Yeah.
You know
Because
what I
you
mean?
have a platform. so
Because
can
we
use
have
it.
a platform that if we really want to get busy and speak our mind with no interruption,
That's
we
a
can do
great
that.
way to do it.
We could do that any day of the week that we want to, just because.
You could raise money.
Yeah,
yeah,
we can
for
do
sure.
anything.
You got
you know
people
what I mean?
listening.
Yeah.
You can tell people like, hey, put your money here.
Yeah, and it's
fact.
like, and I'm more excited now that like I'm gonna double down on like, you know, the things that I care about, such as these issues.
How you actually feel?
How I actually feel. I want to be behind, or I want to get with the people who are doing like some true organization. Like,
Yeah.
Like, let me get steps A through Z, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not go out here just willy nilly. But if you're the type of person that's got step A through Z planned out, holla at me, bro. Holla at me. We'll come on the podcast. We're gonna make sure we spread the word. I'll do my part. You do your part. You know,
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. But it just made me realize I need to double down on that, because even like, bro, like our voice, I feel like it's gonna help people during these times. Like that clip that I posted to you.
Yeah.
Bro, like I know that resonated deep with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
Brandon.
What was the clip?
Crazy, like people don't really take into account, like when people think that black people are just losing their minds, thinking that the government is against them or the police
Yeah.
officers are against them. They don't seem to realize that when it comes to like the KKK, a white supremacy group,
Yeah.
KKK, that's not an occupation. You know,
Yeah.
that's just a fucked up hobby. But what that means is
As a fact, though, yeah.
every single member of those people in that, every single member actually has an occupation outside of it, you know?
Exactly.
Which include, but are not limited to, police officers, judges,
doctors,
lawyers, yeah, doctors,
because black women especially have issues with the doctors not telling them when, you know,
Yeah.
if something is wrong.
Helping
You
them
know what
out.
I mean? Yeah, like, or they'll say, this has been happening to me, and they're brushing it off, and then 10, 15 years later, they die from that little thing that they were trying to check.
Yeah.
You know what
so
I mean?
how are we expecting things to get better when white supremacy is secretly sprinkled throughout our entire system?
Yeah, man.
You know, like the person who works at the gas station down there could be a Klansman for all we know.
That, literally,
So
yeah.
like the Klansmen, they're almost like the mutants in X-Men. It's like once they take off their costumes, they look just like us. Like
Exactly.
they blend into the crowd. Like they look
yeah.
human until they show their superpower, which is
Yeah.
racism.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
oh, he called me a nigger. He must be a mutant.
and don't let them have resources, because
Yeah.
then they're even more dangerous.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and be in
saying?
high
They'll let
places.
The clip was pretty much, he was talking about, he was saying about the Ku Klux Klan and hate groups and people that are racist.
yeah.
Racism is like a superpower, like they're mutants, and you don't know it. You don't know that their superpower is racism until they show it. And most of the time, by time if they're showing it, it's not good for you normally.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I was saying like
It's
how
too late. You
our
know what I mean?
system is like ran. I was just saying like how white supremacy is in the system because
Yeah.
like the KKK, like they have like occupations outside of the movement. you know?
Exactly.
I saw this
Exactly.
one tweet that was
Yeah.
like, the reason why you don't see the KKK and like the cops in the same room is the same reason why you don't see Hannah Montana
And Miley Cyrus in the same room.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And that's the
damn.
fact. Yeah.
I know it was funny. Like that was one of the tweets where I like chuckled a little bit, but I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's fact.
It's
yeah.
facts. And
Holy
that's
shit.
what he was saying on that clip that I put out yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Yeah, pretty much when they take off their hoods and they go back to work, like
He
you
said,
know,
we don't
like
even
they're-
know.
Yeah,
He
you
said,
have no idea.
he said, I always expect it to get better when it's systematically sprinkled throughout our
Yeah.
entire system.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
like we could do like what are we supposed? How do you remove like the sheetrock from a house you know, while the house is still intact.
Standing.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
the foundation. You know, so
Yeah.
it's like, how do you remove it?
And the only way to change it is systematically.
Yeah.
But problem is, 9 times out of 10, you might be going through.
But
one of
realistically, if you're gonna try to redo the foundation on the crib, you kind of got to get rid of the crib.
That's what I mean. You have to burn it to the ground,
So,
essentially, like the
do you
Joker
It's
said.
like,
how do you feel about people that
You know what I
say? How do you feel about people that say instead of writing, register to vote? How do you feel about, especially, and we're talking very current, like the way you feel right now off watching that video? You know your last 24-hour feelings on this topic. But then you talk to somebody and they say, "How do you feel about?" I feel some type of way about them. You know what I mean?
Like
It's
what type of way?
Who am I voting for?
Yeah, and on top of that, it's almost
that's
like
my follow-up question.
they're saying, well, instead of riot, they're bypassing our feelings on one of our people getting murdered by the police. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like a retort.
But
to
how about this? Do they
Black Lives Matter to All Lives Matter?
Did they say the same thing when like people were rioting a couple weeks ago for like the fact that America shut down?
Never. They
Oh,
never
yeah,
speak on
you're
that.
right.
If you
It's
want
about
change, are you gonna
Yeah.
go vote?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they would never even. That wouldn't even be a talking point.
Yeah. Where were
And
the
it-
military
and-
then?
and it wasn't a talking point either. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like every time I hear that, I'll be like, bro, I don't got time for that shit. Like, are you like who you think you playing with? You know what I mean? That shit's
Yeah.
weird. Like, it's just so weird and disrespectful to say to somebody like you and
to just not acknowledge what is actually
not
going
acknowledge
on.
it. And I made a tweet. I made not a tweet, a Facebook post. Because I seen some people that I went to Apex High School with. I mean, y'all know what it is. I went to Apex High School. Y'all know what type of people is out there. We're talking.
I don't know.
You don't know? They're Southern farmers. Like from the muscle when
Shit.
Apex was segregated by the railroad track type of energy.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
like
dun
that's
type.
what type of
Is that a
energy.
banjo?
I low-key thought that was like the like Japanese
Yeah.
like.
It did
Oh,
look-
that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
like,
that's
wait, what?
but that's the type of culture we're coming off of when we talking about a place like Apex. So obviously your children that I even went to school with and graduated in 08 with are on that same type of time because you on that same type of time as parents and grandparents. And of course I see something somebody I went to Apex with, they said some wild shit about the rioting, like wow, like who are you even trying to help like by rioting and shit? And I'm like, bruh,
That shit makes noise.
Yeah.
With this video,
It
I was
makes
low key like,
yeah.
burn it down.
Yeah,
Like, I'm usually
yeah.
the person that's like, yo, riot, like looting, not cool. But like
Yeah.
at this point, I was
What can you
like,
do?
Eye for an eye.
shit,
Fuck it, burn it.
Shit.
Yeah.
that
burn it,
target
bro.
was lit.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to be funny, but like for
That's just
real,
what it
like
was.
I was with that.
Yeah,
Like,
because
it makes noise and it makes them like anybody that's in a like leadership position, like
Yeah.
they gotta make that decision.
you gotta make
It
a
makes them
decision.
scared.
De-escalate some shit, like a real decision.
And I've been wondering about like the deployment of course National Guard, right? They're deploying National Guard and people like that. Like I wonder how many people aren't suiting up. You know, I want to know about those people who are just like, no, bro, I'm on their side.
What
Like
you mean
who-
suiting up?
Like
Oh, you
so
mean
like, I
like a
wonder if
cop
there's
that
anybody
might-
in
Yeah,
like I wonder if
in
there's
the
anybody who's like in the National Guard or something who's been called to
Oh,
deploy
yeah.
and who's just on the level like, bro, you want me to deploy for this? Do you understand what's going on? I
should've taken a
completely
pic-
get it.
I should've
I
taken a
completely
picture
get
of
it.
it,
And like,
yeah.
they
nah,
have a
like,
right to protest. Like,
as well, like and
Yeah.
like that type of shit. Like I wonder who this is affected to a certain because it's a deep cut. So it's like I wonder how deep this cut affected certain people who were in these roles that are here to police the situation who decided not to.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's touched people like that because I hope it has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
If that
they're
makes sense.
reported on, but you gotta hope that there are those cops out there who have like are sensible about this stuff.
I saw a
And
video.
they're
of
not
some dude
all
crying.
that. It's not all of them. It's just the
not.
fact. It's their blue wall of silence that they have.
Yeah, their
It's that-
silence is what makes
That's
it
what,
work.
and that's and it's just another weird. This was another reminder as well that like silence is just as deadly. Silence, if not more deadly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. And this is something that black people that move from the north to the south joke about, and it's dark humor too.
Yeah.
And it's about what you're witnessing now. We appreciate racism a little bit more down here in the south because it's more open. So at least you let me know from a distance you don't fuck with black people.
Yeah.
So I can keep my distance and not fuck with you either. Up there, you'll catch it way more subtly. It's infiltrated throughout the teachers. So you get a black student, and you're saying he's always behaving violently and
Yeah.
acting out in class. So you're just building his record from the school district. So now you can keep him in more of the remedial based classes and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Then by time maybe he does get into a fight, because a lot of people growing up, especially as like boys going through puberty, we get into a fight, but you might be now that I've been writing shit on you for the last 5 years and you've been in school,
It holds more weight.
It holds more weight, and I might even throw a little gang shit on there now. You know what I mean? Him and his friends were, or an organized attack against another student. You know what I mean? Now the police are involved. You know what I mean? And now I'm arrested before I'm 18.
Yeah.
And at least they have my fingerprints. So now for the rest of my life, if something happens crime wise, and I'm just the motherfucker, I'm on the way to a job interview, or I'm on the way to the grocery store, and I touch something in the crime scene, you got my DNA and shit. You know what I mean? Because you've had it since I was
You grew up where?
right outside of Philly.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like you get
And
more
you
of
felt
it.
that energy up there like that.
Yeah, but it's systematic. It's not. It's
Blatant,
not like
here.
down here. I know we're giving off the energy and we don't fuck with each other. You know what I mean? And I can catch that from a distance.
But also, you literally have like the distance of like there's land here,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
live
yeah.
a little
There's-
further.
exactly.
Like
I can
you're
stay
not
away
on
for
top
sure,
of each
yeah.
other. like,
Exactly. Yeah. So
I can separate myself and be with who I
everything's
need to
so
be
much
with.
closer up north. You don't know how you might be getting it. It might be you as an adult and you not. You can't. Everybody's getting promoted around you except you, even though you're overqualified for the position, and you've been doing everybody else's job that's getting promoted. You know, it's that
It's like
type
that
of
kinda-
where it's even secretive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's crazy, bro. But that's one of those things where it's just like, bro, the silent shit is deadly, bro. That silent shit is deadly. It could ruin the rest of your life off something that you had nothing to do, nothing a part of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the ones who claim to be good cops, if they are silent during all of this, then they're actually
good
not
are
good
you?
cops.
How-
They're not-
how
yeah.
good are
They're
you?
just as
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, bro, your partner is there to hold you accountable. Unless I got a partner and I got an officer or partner duo that's about that life, though. You know what I'm saying? Then
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
Then you're just dealing with two bad cops. We're there to check each other on the bullshit that we like to do anyway, which is fuck with black people. So, you know, it really all depends on if you're a good cop, pair with one of these people that you know is like this. Like, are you speaking up? But even this guy that was on the back of George Floyd, apparently he's had several complaints and nothing's been done.
And the fact that there's 3 other cops there, they're
That's
just
just
like,
watching it
rolling
happen
with it.
and just chilling. And
The
just
Asian
chilling.
dude, bro, that Asian dude didn't give a fuck.
It's almost like it's protocol. You know, like you
Yeah,
remember like a couple of years ago where they said that in Florida they were using police were caught using the, I guess, pictures of black people as target practice.
Yeah,
serious?
I
I
didn't
didn't
know
know
about
about
that.
that.
I didn't know
Yes,
about
I
that.
remember that.
Maybe the
bro.
What
mid
year was
2000s, mid 2010s.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
It
mid
was
2010, so maybe
and they
like
were caught.
2012,
15,
13,
oh,
14, around there.
They were
In
caught
Florida?
doing that shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's wild,
crazy.
bro.
Crazy, but Florida's built different too.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's real life for us here in North Carolina. I mean, we don't know what these people are doing in their backyards. You know what I'm saying? Like, they easily have just random black people that they know just crazy Carol Basket energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't fucking know, bro. Like, but that silence is bad, bro. Like,
But
if
I
you're
mean,
a
I
person
can.
that doesn't think this is right, bro, you've got to
And
speak
Bro,
up.
I
mugshots,
know this
mugshots,
is
that's what I was
affecting
trying to
everybody,
say.
bro. Because I went to Denny's this morning and like I was telling him earlier. Not only do I feel like obligated to speak power into like black people I see out in
Yeah.
public. Like I was telling the dude on my way out, just like just telling him like right before, like, bro, just be safe out here. Like it's wild.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
That is definitely
But
a thing.
outside of that, like I saw like another family, like a white family over there, like with their child having like breakfast, and like the shit's on the news, and then the kid just is like, hey, it's on the news again, and I just see the parents just like not even trying to like just be quiet, not even trying to like look at anything what's going on. And then at another table I see over there, I'm pretty sure, I don't know the end of the discussion I heard, but the end of the discussion I kind of heard like somebody say, as soon as they realize there's more of us than there are of them. I'm like, bro, this is like, like
Which
one of those
Denny's
kind of things.
was that?
Fucking
Bro,
on
Denny's?
70, right
nah,
up
bro,
there,
let me
like-
tell you something.
yeah,
That's
right
why
up
I've
there on
never eaten at
Fayetteville.
Denny's, bro.
I went there.
I've never eaten at Denny's. They're known for their racism, bro.
Are they, bro?
Really?
Yes, I'll
That's
never.
I went there because I went to
Bro,
IHOP first,
I'm
and
always
it
been
was
an
closed.
IHOP person.
I went to
I'm an
IHOP
IHOP
and it was
person.
closed,
Bro,
and
I
I
was
was
Only
like,
time
I
I
need
went
to
to
get food.
Denny's was like they were giving out free.
Yeah.
like,
Bro, I
pancakes
would
or something.
literally never forget.
didn't know
bro.
about that.
There was a big story, and this is when I was.
But it was
in-
like mostly black people working there, so I was just like,
I mean,
don't
that's-
know. But yeah, that's
that
typical,
happens. Yeah, but I'll never forget, bro. And it might have been just a regional thing. Up where I used to live, bro, when I was in like eighth grade maybe, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. It was a huge story locally about a black cop that went to a Denny's with his family. They treated him terribly, bro. Extremely racist. Like the waiting staff and shit had no idea that he was a police officer. Wow. So obviously he made the story public,
yeah,
and he's
right.
like, "I'm a police officer," and you know, like that was like sent like a shockwave of like Denny's been on that energy. So
Yeah.
I remember like my mom was like, mind you, we never ate there anyway, but she was like, "No, we ain't never eaten at Denny's." Like, and I've never eaten at Denny's. So like when I first moved over here on this side, like people go to the Denny's in Garner because they have a bar, and like people would be like, "Yeah, we hit."
Wait.
Yeah,
a
crazy.
bar.
They have a bar
Yeah.
there? I was just
Like
there. I didn't even
alcohol
see that.
type bar.
The one that's you didn't see it,
I was just there.
bro. They used to have a bar at least.
I don't
Hey,
know.
look.
I don't know. I was looking
Denny's
around.
with
I
a
just
bar
went. I
is
just sat
different.
down.
Bro,
I just
Denny's,
sat down to
the
get some
Denny's
breakfast.
over here had a bar, bro, and I've heard it so many times it has to be real. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
maybe
Oh, you never been?
I never been, bro, because I won't
Oh, yeah,
support
you-
Denny's. Yeah, bro.
It was a legend.
Yeah, but like I've heard several people be like, "Yeah, bro, we hitting Denny's, bro." Like the one, the one in Garner got a
about that?
bar, and I was like, I ain't fucking with it, bro. Just because so that's why when you said all this went down in the Denny's, I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised.
Yeah, nah, man, it was just weird, bro. It was weird energy because that's where I was actually reading the story again. Like I was just like actually like reading an article instead. Like I was having breakfast and was just like I'm gonna just go ahead and read through what actually happened as well, other than just like
Because
watching
you can't
the video.
go off of what you see. In
Yeah,
tweets
so
and
like
shit.
I was just trying to
Yeah.
read
You
through
can't do
everything
that.
and see what was going on, and I was just like, man, this is wild, bro. Like this shit. Every time you like go over it, like you kind of how do you not feel away? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of wild, bro.
Because it's pumped through like the zeitgeist, you know. So it's like
Yeah.
you go out there with that mindset of just like everybody's kind of like suspicious. I mean, that's what happened even with Corona. Like
bad.
we go out there in public and we're just like, get away from me, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know,
Yeah.
like it's just
God, we
crazy.
don't
And now we have another thing. Is he Governor Cuomo? Governor Cuomo? Governor Cuomo be going in, bro.
What do you mean? Good or bad?
Bro, he goes in good. Like he was the one that like. Do you ever seen his videos when he was talking about the coronavirus? Like when that was going on. Like
I don't think so.
Man, I saw so many different videos. I don't
me
even
too,
know.
bro.
Either
But
that or I'm thinking of the wrong people or something like that. Like,
I don't
I'm
even
not
know how
really
to
sure.
explain it, bro. Long story short, bro, Cuomo is like, bro. When I hear Cuomo speak, bro, it puts me at ease and makes me feel good every time, bro. Like he was talking about this whole thing happening, and he was like, no, he was like. So what? He was like, so what? They burned it down. I'm with them. Like,
Yo,
that's how.
what? That's
bro,
dope.
But he talks freely like that all the time.
I stand with the protesters. And I think all well-meaning Americans stand with the protesters. Enough is enough. How many times do you have to see the same lesson replayed before you do something? This country is better than this. It has been better than this. And it shouldn't take this long to end basic discrimination and basic injustice.
The governor also said today that the evidence in the case against the officer in the George Floyd case is damning. He says if that had happened here in New York, there would absolutely be enough evidence to press a murder charge.
But and then him and his brother works for like CNN.
I've seen them like go
You've
back
seen
and
them go
forth,
back and
like
forth before.
one about like, yo, what's mom gonna think of this?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah. Like they've had those moments that have like boosted them up. But his brother
That's
be
fucking
going.
dope, man.
That's dope as hell, bro.
related.
And,
That's crazy.
And
Yeah,
it's-
they have
and the
two ideologies.
And I don't even know his name. I don't
Yeah.
even know
Yeah,
what
I don't know.
I don't know what the CNN reporter dude name is, bro. But he was on that same type of time too. Like he was on CNN and he was like he had that same energy his brother had. Like
That's dope.
and it's just so dope that they're both in huge positions of power, and like they're just stepping up, bro. Long story short, if Cuomo runs for president,
You rocking with that?
bro, what, bro? Cuomo got that energy, bro. Like, and I don't get inspired by that many politicians, period, like that often. Like, I'm not huge into politics. Like, I'm definitely looking to see what you're gonna do for the black community and stuff. But I'm not like protesting out here. Shows that I listen to, like Breakfast Club, Brilliant Idiots, Flagrant, like they low key keep me more in tune with what's going on in black politics and Angela Rye and Breakfast Club. Like they definitely keep me in tune with what's going on politically more than me actively pursuing it.
Yeah, Charlamagne does a good job at like bringing in a politician and asking them those questions.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hard
And-
hitting
Put them on the
questions,
spot.
And the fact that you're bringing them in, now I get to be introduced to them because I'm not
right.
seeking that out normally because it always just seems like there's so many people always running for something. You want my vote for this? Like,
Yeah.
it's
They're
always
just
so.
fishing for votes. And you know, it's crazy because I think it was Charlamagne when I was still like feeling like Hillary Clinton out. I'm like,
Yeah.
is she legit
You didn't know how
or
you
whatever?
didn't know how to feel about it.
It might have been on the Breakfast Club where he asked her, is like, what do you
hot
think
sauce.
about
Hot
people?
sauce.
Yeah, and then she
Yeah.
was like, well, you know, how do you feel about people think that you're using that, you know, to get to
pander.
black people and
Is
all
it
pander? And he, it's like,
I remember that.
Is it working? Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
remember.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. You know?
But then Charlamagne, I think
But I
he
thought
was
that was
like,
a funny.
yo, that
I
was
thought that
real.
was pretty good.
That was a
yeah,
good
I thought that was
because
good. Yeah.
she wasn't. That's like a real thing about
Yeah.
her.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
That's why
her-
I was done with her.
She has
I was
terrible.
like-
She has terrible timing though. That's
Yeah,
really
Yeah,
the problem.
yeah. But Charlamagne was saying like, yo, that was real. Like she
Really, yeah.
She got hot sauce on deck.
He should have asked like, all right, pull it out
Pull
right
it
now.
out,
Pull out the
yeah.
hot
Oh,
sauce
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
But then
I thought that too in that moment.
yeah, but then
Let
when
me
it was
see.
just like when it was so blatant, when it was just so
What kind of
blatant,
hot
like
sauce?
she didn't even deny that she was
Yeah.
pandering. When it was so blatant, that's when I was just like, oh, this is all a game. Like what the I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. At least it rubbed you the wrong way to where
Yeah.
you can't get down with that.
Yeah, like at least lie. At
But I
least
feel
lie.
like the politicians aren't used to that kind of interview. Like
Yeah.
They're not.
on
They're
YouTube,
not.
they're used to like
They're really in it. They're,
TV. Like
yeah, they're really.
they cut that part out.
Yeah.
Like
They do.
Really
Yeah, these are
random.
these are the
Yeah,
parts we won't
yeah.
even air normally.
Yeah.
Really random, completely off top. Well, not off topic, but I need to know the name of the hot sauce brand with that old lady that always says,
I put that.
Oh,
that
I
shit on
put that
everything.
shit on everything.
Oh, it's Red Hot. I think
"Thank you."
That
something-
red?
Just wanted to
What,
remember.
Red Hot?
Red Hot.
Is that what it is?
I put that shit
I have
on
no
everything.
idea.
I put that
It's
shit on
something-
everything.
It's something Red Hot, but if you type
Okay.
in Red Hot, it'll pop up.
Yeah.
I just want to remember
The
because
commercials. Yeah.
I want to try it now
Her
that I think
voice
about it
is-
when we had that conversation.
I enjoy the voice more on the radio. This sounds crazy.
Yeah.
I know
But
what you're talking about. I know what you're talking
I
about.
enjoy hearing it on the radio more than watching a commercial on TV.
Wait,
Yes.
a radio ad?
It's a radio
yeah.
ad of
I ain't
old
hear
lady
one of
getting
those
ready
in
to-
like
Nigga,
so
bruh,
long.
Brother, radio ad fucking slaps.
Slaps every time, bro.
It be in some. It be you be upset. You be upset that the music stopped, and then you hear this old lady speaking, and she
Oh,
be
she's about to say it.
and then she be like, I put that shit on everything.
She says shit on the radio.
It
though?
bleeps it out.
it bleeps it out. I put that
I put
shit
that
on
beep
everything.
on
Kinda
everything.
well, yeah, it's a.
I remember hearing that.
The bleep to me is comedy.
The
Yeah,
bleep
yeah,
makes
yeah, yeah.
cursing
It is.
funnier for some reason.
it does,
Like
it
when you hear it on
does.
Chappelle's show and shit.
It really
Yeah.
does.
Facts.
It really does.
I
That
love
shit is
it, man.
hilarious.
Put that beep on
You know that shit has you.
We all know what you
hear
said.
The
like-
Yeah,
you hear the shh. It's like I put that spiel on everything. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I
Like,
don't know why
I-
it just makes it funnier.
I always put the bleeps anytime like we curse
Yeah.
in the skit. I always put the bleep because it's funnier to me.
I don't know why
It's
that
just
is.
so much.
Everybody
funnier.
knows what you're saying. eh?
Yeah,
It's
it's
like-
just-
Yeah, but why is it funny hearing the beep though? Like,
don't know.
somebody should look into that. That's
because
psychology
you get to make the decision to say that line for yourself. So it's like you know what I'm saying. So you get to like
you know
in
what
your
they're saying,
head,
so
like,
that's why it's
yeah,
funny.
yeah, yeah, so it's funny.
Okay.
Especially when you put the little like censor bubble over their mouth.
Actually, one of the
I be
things.
extra as shit. I do all
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah, that is funny though. Yeah,
It's
when you
just
put it
so
over their
funny.
mouth.
It's the
Wait,
beep.
you do that in your video?
I do that. Yeah,
Sometimes,
I do that. Bro, if you look at any of our old videos, bro, if somebody cursed,
Even the very first video we did, it was on there.
yeah, if somebody's mouth was fucked up, I'll put the censor bubble over for a couple seconds.
We actually used that to cover up words that I fucked up in a music video.
Yeah.
It's fire.
Yeah, bro. Just to keep so the tape is still good.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about?
No,
My bad. Who was talking
That's
about?
what I was talking
Red
about.
Hot.
Red Hot.
It just got on me because we was
I,
talking about hot sauce.
I
and
want to
was
go
like,
back to like talking about people being silent though.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that, please, because that's a real thing.
Being like a white guy, like
Yeah.
one thing I was like, and this is like super deep, but for a while I wasn't commenting on things. I didn't know when's the right time, what to
Yeah.
say. And I was listening to Brilliant Idiots today actually, and Charlene's like, "Yo, don't worry about being like politically correct,
Yeah.
and just like stand up for what you think is right. Like say it, you know,
Yeah,
like."
yeah.
Like a lot of white people, especially somebody like me that does something creative, sometimes you're worried about offending somebody, getting into like a
And being looked at as you're pandering.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's a
that's-
big
that-
thing. Like
that's probably
talking
the
to
biggest
Pat
one.
Jr. was one of the things where it's like, nah, you're not pandering. I know, like, and Charlamagne said too, like if you know your intentions are pure, like let it
Then
off.
go,
Let it out,
yeah.
go.
And I
Yeah,
think
don't worry
real
about that.
recognizes real too.
Yeah,
Or
don't worry
it's just,
about the
oh, this guy's
pandering.
legit.
Like,
We feel
Just
that
do it.
understanding.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's one thing. Like,
And even if someone doesn't understand exactly what you're saying, where you're coming from, most times I think in a situation like this, they're going to say, at least you're saying something.
Yeah.
yeah, for
Whether or
sure.
not they agree with what,
Yeah.
how you,
But
you know what I'm saying? Like,
me, like, I put out a tweet. We were talking about earlier, but it's like my tweet was directed to white people. Like,
Yeah, it
that's all
was,
I can
yeah.
talk to. I don't know
Yeah,
the
yeah.
black experience.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
only go off of like what I've heard, what
Yeah.
my friends tell me. But like, I can talk to white people that are being silent. Be like, yo, let that shit off.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
Facts.
So
And
that's
somebody
just
like you, bro, because you have a,
have influence, yeah.
you have followers and influence
slightly.
over. So
You know,
subtle flex.
you know.
Follow Nancy, you can see that flex. But it's so powerful. That's why I like retweeted it twice on the podcast and on my regular page because
Oh, so you run both accounts? I knew it.
You
I
knew
thought
it.
y'all might have like a manager.
we got a manager coming soon.
Yeah.
We got a manager coming soon because I can't do it all, bro. It's
Yeah,
a lot,
yeah.
bro. It's a lot. But
Well, yeah, people retweeting it too is weird because I don't want praise for it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
It's
people
like you
were
just
hitting
let
me
it
up.
off.
Like I had some friends hit me up like, "Yo, thanks for saying that." It's like the fact that you feel the need to say thanks is like, man, shouldn't this be something people do?
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not.
So I don't even know what to say back.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. There's no need to like.
It's because we're so not used to having that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Facts.
mean? Where it's and that's the the harsh reality of it.
Yeah, sad
It's
part.
like I know, like we all gonna be on the same wave without question, but that was, and I was talking to him about this, and like Pat, it's just like your white allies are just as important, and we need them to speak up because they're the majority. And if we can get the majority to speak the same cries that the minority have been having, then we could probably we have a much better chance of making change.
Change
Because as long as the minority, as long as nobody in the majority is fucking with the minority, nothing would. Why do we need to change?
Yeah.
It's more of us anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why we need that majority. We need to convert at least half of them.
Yeah.
To
like
just-
if you have somebody that's white that's an ally, like they can be in it. Like this has happened a million times, man. I'll be in a room, all white people. Somebody says something kind of slick, something weird, drops the N-word.
Yeah.
That's my job right there to check somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, this is why that's not cool.
Yeah.
Or you got to think about it like this.
Exactly.
And those conversations, like just talking to Pat, it's like I'm learning to have those conversations way more.
Yeah.
Like I had a long conversation with my mom today.
Yeah.
Like an hour long about all this, and at the end of it, basically saying, "Yo, I'm going tonight."
Yeah.
And her main concern, especially like I feel like white parents will think you don't have to go out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's so. Yeah. That
Like
makes
it's not
sense.
your fight or something.
Yeah.
And you even kind of said something like that where it's like you could have just been hanging out with
I
anybody.
could have just been chilling today,
Yeah.
a bunch of people, and not affected.
Yeah. True.
But the cool thing was having that conversation with my mom and her being like, "I get it."
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had a good conversation about it. But yeah, like I was afraid to tell her and like get that, because I know it's happened before, like where she's like, I'm concerned about you, like going out to a situation like this, blah blah. And I'm like, we're good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's like we just gotta move smart, bro. Like to sum up what you said, you were like, this protest might be last minute unorganized, but that does not mean we don't have to have a plan.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm
you
saying?
did say
If
that
we get
before
lost,
went.
I was telling
Yeah.
him, I was like, all right, if we get lost, meet at the car at 7:30.
Yeah, it's like
That's like some music festival.
especially because none of us ever been to such an
event,
such a touchy a heated movement. You know what I mean? Not even a touchy topic because it obviously is always.
But it's like,
it's a lot of heat behind it. It's still raw emotion.
And
behind each
that's what I'm
person
saying.
going out.
The emotion is so
tense.
tense and raw. I feel like even if you're out there for peaceful like protests and certain things, if anything goes, you're kind of in like, you're so raw about it. You're like, I don't know what I might do.
You
know what I'm saying?
personally
Like,
can be flipped instantly
and
turn
saying,
into
like,
something that you didn't realize that you were capable
it's
of
a different-
doing.
Exactly. Like,
Or you could just be caught in the crossfire of it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what he on that type of time, and he's standing right next to you.
Well, yeah, like it's like that first spot we went to. So you got the
Yeah.
cops. You don't know what the cops are gonna do.
Yep.
You got that girl that comes up with the speaker.
Yep. And then the
Dude,
guy that with the pistol right behind him.
behind
So
her,
yeah, we're thinking about that. Okay, this could go off. And then you pointed out the one dude behind us that was
Yeah.
sketchy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's 3 different parties. You
Yeah.
never know about the random like crazy white dude that could pop up.
Exactly.
And
Oh,
and shoot
yeah.
everything because everything is
Drive
there.
through a crowd or something.
whatever.
Yeah, it's
Right,
like,
like Charlottesville, right?
Once that, I
Pickings
was
are
like,
thick right now.
damn, like
Yeah.
we're really out here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
all that's dangerous. That's why it's like once we seen shady looking dude, he's looking around to see, are there more people that are fully masked up right now? Like
with war paint on them.
with war paint, is he the only one that's out
Damn,
here
I
like
didn't see
that?
the war paint.
It was on his all over his arms.
It wasn't even really war paint. It was his tattoos. They
One
look,
of them was his tattoo.
Oh,
One was a tattoo.
okay,
The other
Yeah,
arm
he was just
war
fully
paint.
covered up, and he had
Yeah.
some kind of bag I've
Yeah.
never seen, like on his waist.
yeah, it was some weird.
Like, is
duffel.
that some ammo or like what is
Well,
that?
it's like,
Like,
I
what's in
figured there
there?
might have been something in there.
Yeah, but it's, you know what I mean. But at the same time, we just don't know, bro.
We just don't know. Yeah.
When emotions are this high and tensions are so, bro, you
And
don't
then
know, bro.
you go out there without any kind of arms or anything that you're trying to, you know what I'm saying? You're out there trying to like walk around peacefully or just be a part of what it is.
Low
I had
key.
3
Show
water
face,
bottles
just be
and
like,
like 2 protein bars.
Low key, don't worry
Shit.
about that.
Yeah.
we were protected.
No, I've been known. Yeah, I've been known.
Nah, but not like that.
I've been known.
Yeah.
I didn't know till after.
Yeah.
Like, wait,
But-
damn, I would have
but-
never known.
But it's still, well, bro, we're still,
yeah, you still don't want to.
even with that ain't gonna do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like compared to how they were,
Not in a riot like that.
not in
They
no
were
riot,
come on,
bro.
like, yeah.
Compared to how it was just fucking, it was just
Militant.
it's militant, bro. You can't, you know what I mean? Like if you, it's wild,
Yeah, people
bro.
have to realize too, like the system itself. Like, I think unity is the enemy of our system in a way. You know, like because the more we're separate and we're against each other, like I feel like the system thrives. You know, like you have to be Republican, you have to be Democrat, we have to be separated. But when we come together, they're like, oh shit, you know, they're coming together. You know, black, white people, you know, like they're all coming together. It's like, oh shit, everything's falling apart.
The government
Honestly, you're
loses
right.
control.
Yeah, it's like the whole is everything is falling
together,
apart.
Yeah, if everybody's together, it's harder to control.
Yeah. You know, so to keep us, you know, like this is the old saying. What
Divide
do
and
you say?
conquer.
Divide and conquer. Yeah, that has been going on till this day.
For years.
Damn.
If you're gonna take down an empire, that's the greatest way to do it.
Yeah.
Have them fight within.
That's the
Exactly.
That's the two-party system we have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have them
exactly.
fight
Yeah.
within. And
We
then
have
it's
to.
an issue.
Keep
We
the
have
people
to be
divided
against. Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
good.
And that lets you
Yeah.
wonder as well, like what happens if now the country's attacked by somebody else.
Oh yeah. Add that onto it, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Bro, Charlamagne says it all the time, and it's just, it hurts my soul that it's the truth. That literally nothing will bring Americans together
aliens.
unless aliens attack.
right?
Yeah,
Sure.
facts.
You know how
I was
quick
thinking that
we'll-
same shit.
I don't know actually.
You don't think so?
I think
we
it
just
brings
got hit
together.
by COVID and nobody can decide like, yo, no mask.
That's not an
like-
alien though, bro.
That's true. We
If
talking
the aliens came,
what's-
people like they have their
That ain't
different
real.
They'd
That
have their
ain't-
different opinions.
It's Photoshop.
All right, so the
Photoshop. You got the
Photoshop.
conspiracy theorists. Yo, that's Photoshop.
Yeah.
But wait, hold on.
I thought you
You've
were
been saying
saying
there's
aliens.
aliens.
Yeah. The whole time you've been saying it.
Yeah, but not like this. That's Photoshop.
Yeah,
And then you
yeah.
got the people on the right there like, what would they be saying?
Are they Mexican?
But you got the people on the left that be like on some like Independence Day when they're on the top of the building.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
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 facts,
yeah.
facts,
Of course, you would like the hippie movements and stuff. That
No, let's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
talk
yeah.
to him.
Yeah, yeah. let's just-
Exactly. Yo, Independence Day is a good way to look at it. They were divided, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
It worked.
Charlamagne was wrong, bro. he needs to go back and watch it.
Bro, because it's layers to that. It's layers to it. It's layers to it.
That's just
What could bring us together? North Korea or Russia? Because I feel like we all.
said North Korea. Kim Jong Un.
Because I feel like we all. I don't. Now, hey, look, North Korea, Russia. Don't really know what y'all got going on over there. I just know it's bad blood.
not an
okay?
enemy, but
All I know is that if y'all invade, I'm gonna have to stick with the home team. And I'm sure you can understand that. If we went there,
Yeah.
you're gonna ride for the home team. I don't know what
shit.
the details of anything are.
Yeah.
But maybe Russia or North Korea could get us popping. You know what I'm saying? Get
what
us
would be the thing to
unified up.
unify? Well, that's a good question. What can unify?
I mean,
you?
well,
You know what I'm
9/11 unified us for
well.
like
It did.
a month.
It did. It
You know?
did. It definitely
For
did.
in that moment,
'Cause
we
it
were
was
all
so-
Americans.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I remember
I
that.
feel like the decisions made about war and everything after that, that's what divided.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because like
yeah.
some people were saying go to war, and then others were saying no, anti-war.
But in
you
the
know.
moment when we were all just trying to heal, we were all Americans that just suffered a
Suffered a
huge
loss.
loss.
I said
everyone
like
suffered
right
loss.
in the moment when it was even happening. I feel
Bro,
like
we don't have those
we didn't
moments
even have
often,
colors. You know,
Think about how many moments that we can remember in our life to where it felt like we were all together, bro. 9/11 is definitely one.
When's the last time that happened?
Something that
what?
major? Shit.
Oh, afterwards.
I mean, it's
maybe with the school shooting shit, maybe a little bit.
Oh,
because
well,
we
when that
all
kid
we
popped
all
off.
agreed like mass shooting in schools. Everybody kind of agrees unless you're the person doing it, that shit ain't right.
so, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but even
in-
with that, then you have the argument about like guns, and there's a divided
Oh, that's the
argument.
gun.
there's a
Oh,
huge-
yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
you're
So then
right.
there's a
Yeah,
divided
true.
argument in that.
I'm trying to remember.
But I
last
mean, but
time
it's
something happened,
weird though
everybody's like,
because when
when
things
we were
do,
really together, yeah.
It's I see what you're saying. But it's weird though because when things do happen, even though we're not really together, I feel like every time sometimes we bring somebody else together. Like we still bring like because even though this is going on, we're not obviously we're still separated, but like
Yeah.
within the group of people that were marching, we brought them together
Yeah.
and shit like that. You know
True.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's what you're saying. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if anything. It'd
the
have
whole
to be.
country,
It
though,
would have to
like,
be
I
a
don't-
tragedy on.
Most likely, it would
Americans.
probably have to be some kind of tragedy.
It'd have
Because,
to
like I
be
said,
some
the
sort of
9/11
tragedy,
thing,
yeah.
I remember those moments where it was
Kobe
like
Bryant?
peace. Huh?
Kobe. Bryant.
Low key that did.
But I mean, but sports do that. Sports do that.
Oh,
as a
Yeah,
general.
Kobe
that's true.
Sports
But
are-
that probably was.
That's not
though.
like political. That's
It wasn't
Yeah.
political or
Yeah.
something.
If you're a
but
sports person, it was.
I
like,
guess Kobe really was the last moment because we all agreed like, what
right,
the fuck?
and that's right before everything.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you're right. That was like the first thing that happened. This
That was
year.
it.
What was that? January?
I think so.
Probably. Yeah.
Kobe was January. That
No.
long ago?
I mean,
I'm
Kobe.
about to
Oh,
say.
Kobe. Yeah, that's what you said. right?
Kobe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you said COVID. Yeah, Kobe.
Was it
like,
January?
I'm about to find.
I
out.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
someone
find
dropped
out.
that
I
podcast.
could have sworn it was probably
Yep,
January.
January 26th.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I know it was.
That was right at
yeah.
the end of January then, and it's been bullshit ever since.
You know, it's so crazy. Like,
All hell done broke loose ever since.
but you know,
literally.
but even with like
2020 's
9/11,
not
right? Huh? What you say?
I said 2020 doesn't seem real.
But see, but my
It's
thing,
a
the thing
bad
is,
movie,
It's
bro.
funny how like it's funny how 2020 is like the year of the vision and like we see what's going on.
2020,
You know what I
see?
mean? Like
yeah.
it's
See,
kind
I
of
used
like
to see that, but I thought it was a good thing.
you can't see. You feel me? It's
I
like
thought
you
it was a
can't
deeper.
see any clearer. Like
Yeah.
have you been able to see any clearer of the world? And then you have to
Now.
like today it seems like very clear.
The only thing that hasn't been clear is COVID. Like I don't
That's
know.
been-
what-
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
there's
been
so
real.
much muddled
Yeah.
information.
But what were you about to
it.
say earlier? Though?
I was gonna say like it's so crazy like how like even with 9/11 that shit happened in 2001, not in fucking 2000 when the ball fucking dropped. You know, like but all of this shit we got hit with Kobe,
The
COVID.
yeah.
There was something
George
else. There was
Floyd.
like bees coming here or something. killing
Ahmad
bees or some
Rashad?
shit. Huh?
Ahmad
Oh,
Rashad,
that's yeah.
Ahmad Rashad,
Killer bees shit. Yeah, that was in the news for a couple
But
of
Where
days.
they at? I haven't
George
seen one
Floyd,
yet. Yeah, me either.
Bro, every time I see him on the internet, they're getting fucked up. So honestly, I don't know.
Wait, killer
It's-
bees?
Bro,
Yeah,
every
it was a
time,
brief,
every
like,
time I
There's
see these,
supposedly a bee
Yeah.
from Asia. That's a killer
Again.
bee.
and we
another
don't have
thing
no
that
Normal
predators.
bees,
here.
they kill honeybees, and they're like one
And they could kill you.
sting from one of these. Yeah, can
Yeah.
kill you. But here's the thing.
I think I saw him last week.
Just like,
But
that's
people,
enough.
all right, here's the thing. People in like Asia have been surviving with these bees. So why
All
is
the
everybody freaking out?
So that goes back to our conversation about fear mongering. You know, the news.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
yeah, facts.
like they,
They make it bigger.
function
They
on
make it-
news.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
a fucking reality show.
But it's like it's fucked up because it's like the more that they can make something big, the more ratings they can get, right?
Yeah.
Because they're like everybody's watching that shit at this point. So
Yeah.
I think that's the thing behind it. But it's I don't know, man.
I felt like Twitter ran with the killer bee things.
I didn't
Like,
even know about
oh,
that
they
shit
made
until
it,
just now. Killer
yeah,
bees.
because I guess it didn't get that big. I
bro,
guess,
they are
but
scary. They
They
said
look
like
scary.
what was it, like 30 of those bees can kill like
it's
a
like this big or some shit.
Yeah, but they can kill like a whole bee's nest of like 3,000
Seriously?
regular honeybees, and they behead them.
Man, I've never been stung and I can't fuck with it, man. I saw a wasp nest outside the crib that I just bought before I bought it. Like I went by one day for just a
You
walkthrough.
almost change your mind.
No. I didn't know I changed my mind.
sound
But I did
On
take
second
it.
thought.
No.
Let me let's
No,
get another
but there was some.
inspection.
But there was some bee and wasp spray in my parents' crib.
Oh, okay.
And I took advantage of one of the rainy days when I was like, oh, they're not gonna be out. Definitely went by the house when it was like rainy and shit. Saw the whole nest still up there and was like, I'm just gonna spray them and leave.
That's when
Sprayed
they're
'em,
chilling all
dip.
together.
Yeah, just sprayed them,
Yeah.
dip.
They
let
watched
it go.
the news that morning. Yo,
Yeah,
it's raining
facts.
today.
Yeah.
They were
Sitting
talking
in
about
the crib.
2022.
Yeah. But do you guys remember anything at the
2020
start?
Crazy, man. They got this fucking bug spray out here.
So do we remember
No.
anything
Do
at
you
the
remember
start?
anything at the start of a new decade that was like so fucked up? Like 2000. What
That-
happened?
Y2K?
That has set the tone for the whole
Well,
year.
not
But that was
really.
like at
that was
the
before.
edge.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
at
that
the
was-
edge,
yeah,
yeah.
okay, Y2K. So
No, but
then
that happened at the
I
edge,
know,
like-
but 2001 is 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
I remember
that
in
would be
middle
like
school,
COVID happening in
getting the TVs rolled into middle school to
2021.
watch that.
You know,
Like,
you
remember
know,
that?
not 2000.
I was saying, remember like when they rolled in the TVs in your middle school class, like
Oh,
so
shit.
that all the kids could watch like what happened.
Yeah.
What day, when
9/11?
9/11 happened. Yeah.
Bro, they didn't show me.
Oh, they showed us in our school, bro.
I walked into
They like,
art class.
They
and it was just playing. Yeah,
brought they
on
like
TV.
stopped everything. All school stopped and like
Whoa.
brought the like. They like rolled the TV in on a fucking cart and was like showing the news and like what was going on and like making
I
an
remember
announcement.
I didn't realize the magnitude of it. It didn't seem like a real thing that was
Yeah.
happening. And I went to my homeboy, and my homeboy's dad, it was like a union worker, like welding and stuff like that. Woke up every Monday through Friday, 4 a.m. type of energy. And I remember when we got to his house, he was like,
was elementary school.
he was like, I can't believe they just killed all those innocent Americans. He said they killed us. This is our home. He said they killed us.
Yeah.
He said they put an airplane through our building. You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
like, he said I can't, but like, you know, I was like, shit. Like
Yeah.
I felt it off of him because it didn't seem real when I watched it. I was
Yeah.
so young. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? You know what I
Fact,
mean? Like
fact.
this is like a movie.
Yeah. To be completely honest, when it was happening, I didn't know what the World Trade Center was.
Me
No,
neither.
I knew what
Yeah,
the
yeah.
I knew what the
I
two
didn't
towers.
know.
I knew what
I
the
had
Twin
no-
Towers were.
I had no
didn't
idea
know it was
what it
called
was.
that.
Me
Yeah.
neither, and I didn't realize how important of a building.
I didn't even know
it
it
was.
was called the Twin Towers. I didn't know none of that shit. I just knew
Oh,
that
really?
something real just happened.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
bro.
like big buildings. Like, what were people doing in there? Like every floor.
For the
like,
World Trade Center.
People were jumping off of that shit.
The World
yeah.
That's
Trade Center.
Yeah.
The
But-
world.
Yeah.
I
Every
understand-
country had correspondence with this building.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's mad floors.
Yeah.
There's
Imagine.
got to be other stuff going on in there.
Oh,
like,
whatever, without question. Now,
Yeah.
there's definitely some wild shit.
you think
Who,
anybody lived there? Like, was there
who was at the top floor? I want to know.
Imagine going
That's
to
a good
work
question.
every day and be like, man, I got to ride all the way up.
To the
Bro,
top.
how long? Wait.
Nope,
How many
not
floors
me,
was
though.
it? Do we know?
I don't know.
Bro, I don't know, but I know it was one of the biggest
I'm
buildings.
sure we could look it up and it would
we
be
could.
there.
I'm
but,
sure.
But
But what the fuck did you
high to
do
me.
to get that top office? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
What do you do
But
Monday through
is the
Friday?
top office like a thing you want? Like, don't you
It
want to be
might
on the
not be.
second floor?
That's
I can just
very
go to
high.
lunch quick.
Yeah.
Possibly. You're
I'm
right,
saying
though.
like that elevator
You know
ride
what
is
I'm
like
saying?
that elevator ride is like 20 minutes, right? Because people are like stopping off and getting on your elevator ride.
Damn,
take you an
bro.
hour just to get up to the
I'm saying like
You gotta,
Nah, we going up.
like you know,
bro. You gotta.
I'll catch you next.
Like you gotta get to work like 30 to 45 minutes early. Just
Yeah.
to get that elevator.
you think
you can listen to the
anybody
whole
ever
album.
took the staircase all the
Oh,
way
shit.
up?
There was that one guy, bro. There was one. There was
Oh,
one.
yeah.
There was
That's
that
his
one
workout
guy.
every
Yeah,
morning.
that was that
Yeah,
one
just
guy.
going
like,
upstairs to his
Got my
office.
workout
Damn,
in.
bro. There
Fucking
was
cabs crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
cabs
Bruh.
on Asian. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Bruh, and
they
on
should
top
have
of
some great
that,
cabs.
there's
Just wanna
like
put that
one
out there.
successful story. There's one successful story of somebody who worked there that was overweight.
Overweight.
They did
Overweight.
the stairs.
And they said, you know what? I'm gonna start taking the stairs every day.
Yeah. Oh, he made the decision that day. Oh my god.
He made the decision that day, and for
fuck.
6 months of his life, he took the stairs to the 74th floor.
Shit.
There
Wait,
and
you're
back.
lying.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
no,
like,
we're saying like, what if?
First, I was believing. I was like, yo, this is an underdog story.
Hey, look, I'm just saying the building
gotta
was
be
so,
one. It's
Yeah.
gotta be one.
The building was so big, there were so many employees. One person has that story.
All right,
Yeah,
you-
at
you-
least
yeah,
one.
something crazy like that. Hold on. So, me and some friends were talking about like 9/11. Like, yo, what would you do? Like, how would you survive? And one of my friends was kidding. He was like, man, I would just grab whatever, like a desk, and just like surf it down. Like, I know that's like dark,
But
Yeah.
and we were like, damn, they would call you like the 9/11 surfer. Go ahead and YouTube that shit.
9/11
Are you
surfer?
somebody did
serious?
it?
Somebody did it.
9/11
It
surfer.
survived.
It survived?
What?
It's not like whoa. He survived, but basically
I'm sure he was fucked up in his survival process.
he
though.
was in he was in some kind
He
of
was
like
probably on a low floor.
stairwell
He was on a low
case,
floor,
yeah.
though.
and like leaned against the wall, and the wall he happened to lean on just kind of rode down smoothly. And they were like, they were talking about him on the news, like, and they call him the 9/11 surfer.
What?
Holy
And we were like, just like kind of like hypothetical situation. What would you do? And one of my
Yeah.
friends like joked at the time, but that shit was real.
But if you
this
think
is
about a building collapsing like that, bro, you don't
But-
really have any time.
And not only
thanks.
that, bro, this is the biggest thing. Not only was it a tragedy, obviously, for the people that were working there, the thing that was the biggest with 9/11 was the firefighters that went in before
Oh, yeah.
the building actually collapsed. Like, there was like so many firefighters that literally put everything on the line to save as many people as they could,
yeah.
and they're the ones that didn't make it out of as well too. So not only did we lose a lot of people that were just in the building, it was the firefighters, bro, because they were really like before the building even came down, and even after the building first came down, they still went back in there.
Yeah, the other one.
You know what I mean? So it was like the firefight. We lost a lot of firefighters in that whole mess too.
And then the ones that survived, the first responders, is like we couldn't even help them out to when they started getting cancer and all diseases from all the
Yeah.
debris and all that shit.
Yeah.
And
And
there's
we
so many
still
sto-
couldn't help them out.
Yeah, and there was so many stories of people being trapped
Yeah.
in stairwells and
You ever
under
hear that
debris.
one phone conversation that happened?
No.
So somebody, you can YouTube
Talking
it,
about
man.
on the plane.
Yeah.
the-
No, they were like in the building and they called 911. They're telling them what's going on, and it's literally like right before I think it was the first building that collapses, and you hear their last seconds and what they say, and then the building
shit.
collapses. Yeah, it's dark, but it's just like it's very eye opening to
Yeah.
like what it
That's
could have been
real
like
out here,
in
bro.
there. Yeah,
Like your last moments.
But
you
that
know?
really was that last time that it felt like America was all together.
Yeah.
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 Right after,
Right
right after it
after
happened. I remember,
tragedy.
like, and then of course, MTV, like, you had the music videos that coming out. Like, I think, like, who was it? Like, Alicia Keys and
Black
Yeah.
Eyed Peas.
Oh, yeah.
I think
They've
Black
had
Eyed
that
Peas
big
had a
song.
song.
I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. They were
Yeah.
doing those big performances and shit for
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah, and
Like-
then MTV, I remember they changed their logo to to look like the American flag. I remember that, like, when they played music videos and shit.
Everybody was an American in that one moment,
Yeah.
bro. That
Yeah.
was the last time black people was like, "Oh, we're Americans."
Yeah,
Now it's like,
or even white people can like white, like it was like everybody's American. Yeah, but right now, like we're American.
that really is why sports are so beautiful, bro. Because sports bring people together outside of a color, a
Yeah.
race thing. You know what I mean? Like, there could be a million people that say that, like, well, if you just stop talking about race, it'll
So-
go away. No, bro. Sports, bro, that shit eliminates the race barrier so much, bro. It's crazy.
So do y'all like think like Do you think the country will get to a revolutionary point?
Like
Because,
a high
like,
level.
If you think
I
about
think it will, but I think it's gonna get. I think it has to get worse before it does.
before it does,
I think
because
this is that.
This is that time.
Because
Yeah.
when you think about, I mean, like, even if you look at like the British rule of the USA, like of the colonies, right? Like at some point it became a,
Boston Tea Party.
you know what I
I'm
mean,
tired of it.
right? And then like, then it becomes a separation, and then there has to be like a break of land, and like, do you see it going that far, or like
Like
what?
to the point where things are like divided and split up. Like
To the point where there's like full on revolution.
Yeah, I see it.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I mean,
I
who
don't
knows?
count it out, man.
You know, like
the way things have been going, like over the past couple of years, where it's like a situation like this happens, people build up, protest,
Yeah.
and it seems like nothing fully happens. It's hard for me to imagine like
And not coming to that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I mean, that's
Definitely
history.
possible.
It's
It's
tough,
happened
man.
before, yeah.
That's tough. That's tough though. But when you look at history, you kind of have to think like it could get there, right?
Yeah.
And it gives me anxiety. I mean, it gives me low
Yeah.
level anxiety, at least for now. It's not high level, but we might be in the middle of it. Might be all out war at one point. You know, there's like I be seeing videos on like Facebook and shit. Y'all ever seen these? And it be like, bro, there's countries protesting and at war with the police right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
Like
they're-
I'm
Yeah.
from real, like
Yeah. on
yeah,
some real
like,
shit.
also-
Yeah.
like they're out there with like baking pans and shields, like,
Yeah.
like, and they're really like, and this is what they've been doing. There's
Doing for years.
gunshots,
Going crazy.
there's
been
tear
doing this
gas,
forever.
there's gunshots. They're shooting back at the police. Like they've been doing this for the last couple months. Like this is what their everyday life is. Like they wake up and go to war type of shit.
War torn
like,
countries, like shit
yeah,
like that.
bro. Like
And then remember during like the LA riots because of the Rodney King thing, in the early '90s when they fucked up LA. You know, like it was
Yeah.
complete anarchy.
Or the
Yeah.
Tulsa stuff in the early 1900s.
Yeah. So that's why I say like it could be possible. You know, like it could just happen again. Yeah. But they
It's
say history
terrifying.
repeats, right?
history repeats itself,
Yeah,
and it's
man,
just
it's terrifying.
It's just terrifying, bro, because you don't know where you're positioned at in that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
And then you don't know what's gonna happen. Like think about all the bonds and things you've created with people who aren't like you.
yeah,
You know
know
what
I mean?
happens when that
What happens when that
You
mob
know?
decides to come down your street that night? You
night,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's
Like, and you just—that's the scariest part.
it's wild.
That's the scariest part. Say downtown Raleigh goes under attack in the Capitol building, and it's literally that's our war territory. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but then there could also, while all the police are responding to that war territory because things are going on, there might be a random group of 10 people or 20 people that just start going down the street burning people's houses down just because they feel like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when
That's the point where you might just want to set up base at home.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's when
what
you
it ends up being like.
that's when you end up turning your house into a
and then now
fucking
it's
war
the,
fortress.
now it's the
you know
fucking
what I mean?
patriot.
Yeah, and
I'm
it's
saying,
like,
like-
you know what I mean? And it's like I understand the war's getting fought a couple miles away, but it's like it's bleeding into my
Territory.
into my front
Yeah.
lawn, and it's
I
like,
don't feel like it would ever get to that point.
Hope not.
man, I don't know, bro. I don't know what happens when a country. I don't know what happens when you're living in a city that's under siege or just that people
Yeah.
are rioting. I don't know what that
Yeah.
shit is like because if we got 100 people looting a Target, who's looting the fucking houses? Somebody's hitting licks while somebody's at Target looting.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and so I don't know what
You
it's
come
like
back
to
home, your PS4 gone, but you got a
your
new
whole
one.
house
Bro,
gone.
I just bought that game today.
Yeah, bro. I don't know what happens when you live in a city that's literally on fire and people are rioting less than half a mile away or 2 miles away. Why wouldn't there be people just vandalizing somebody that they may hate? Like every
Yeah.
white person, like I'm a black
Finally
person.
taking that moment to do
what
what
if
they
I
wanted
feel
to do.
What if I feel like just going to every one of my white neighbors' house, spray painting their house with a large group of black people that I've gathered around that want to do some hateful shit, and vice versa. Maybe one of my neighbors or somebody's like, I know there's a black dude that lives at that house over there. Let's go fuck with him.
Yeah.
You just, and if you got all the police downtown fucking rioting, dealing with them, who's gonna respond to this? Who's gonna respond to
What's going on outside of that?
the people that are robbing in my neighborhood right now? Like you have to be there to protect yourself in that point because they're preoccupied.
And I think too, like I feel like it's like generational thing too. Why it's hard for us to kind of like, you know, like we're hypothetically thinking about this stuff, but
We
then
know people that live.
you know,
through it.
like we don't know what it's like to like have the cops having water hosing us down in the streets
Yeah.
and having dogs bite us and shit.
Well,
we don't know what
but
that's
we
like.
may know people that do, and 9
Yeah,
out of 10 as a
but
black
just us
person in America,
personally,
yeah,
we
us
don't know what
personally,
that's
yeah.
like. So it's hard to fathom, like that
Yeah.
happening right like tomorrow.
But also because you know of it happening and seen it happen
seen it
before,
happen
you
before.
wonder like
or
how long
Germans
before it
coming
will
to your
happen
house
again.
looking, you're Jewish.
I'd be scared as hell, bro. I'd be scared as hell of.
Like, what if the cops tomorrow is
if
just like,
downtown-
are you black? All right, come here.
Yeah, I'd be scared as hell if downtown Raleigh just started rioting right now,
Yeah.
bro. Like, it's the wild.
This just in, black people are dangerous, so the cops are going to start arresting all of them.
Yeah, and it's a wild, it's a wild west, obviously in downtown Raleigh because they rioting. And what the
I
fuck
wonder
is
what's going on right now.
I'm about to
Yeah, at night, right? Because then the sun is down, so you can get harder
is
to identify
down.
people and shit.
freezing cold.
That's
oh
how we
shit!
already know.
What it is?
Summer's here. My dog will probably do it for some civil rights.
Hey.
That's all he know. He don't know nothing.
We're doing it tonight. I gotta show him.
I gotta show him.
Dang, I didn't even know that I said that shit.
That was
Sun
actually
is down.
fire. We
Yeah,
might need.
I
Hey.
didn't even catch it.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
hey,
Hot as hell.
pulled on him with a stick for show. I was ready
Yeah.
to fucking blow.
This shit. Yeah. That's a sick. I won't capitalize off this tragedy like this. Trust me. Don't worry.
Yeah, we
but
were just
Name
in
of the
sicko
song be
mode,
the
literally.
Sicko mode, hold on.
Yeah. We just went
Craig,
sicko mode, literally.
If that was the fucking theme song to the riots, sheesh.
Yeah.
And with the remix,
Yeah.
I just saw some shit Travis said, and it was a long
Stick up
time
mode.
ago. So
Really?
What he say?
it was some weird shit. Like he was talking about people being fake activists, and then he was saying, and then at the same time he also said, black people, don't put yourself in a position where they can judge you that way. And I was like, that's not the right thing to say. It was it's kind of wild what he said, and it was like,
What was this
This
like
dude
a
kicked
tweet?
tear gas back? My bad.
no, this was rodeo. This was pre rodeo. Travis Scott at Hot 97.
Pre-rodeo.
know.
Okay, so this is like before, like 2010.
Oh, so he said it on air. Like,
On the air, yeah. It was just weird how he was putting the sentence together. Honestly, it was so strange at that time. You should have never said anything. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to kind of speak on certain topics, you don't want to, as a black person, you don't want to look like Uncle Tom. Like, you don't want to look like you're pandering. As a black person, don't look like Uncle Tom. Talking about black people should just like, you just don't want to be in a position where
It's
you're
tough. You gotta like. It's tough to try to like say anything on the other side. Like,
yeah, you don't want to be in a position where you're saying something that white people tell us all the time.
Yeah.
But you tell me that all the time, and I'm still getting killed. And I try to do what you told me to do. You know what I mean? Like you said, walk
so
away.
he
I
was
walked
saying
away
like, don't put yourself in a position to like.
to where you could be, but where us existing, we're in the position
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
So
But see, but you're saying before rodeo. So how old was he?
I
you
don't
think?
know. Yeah, I don't know. That's
'Cause
what I'm saying.
I always take that into account when
And
people
that's why I'm not
said
holding
stuff
it
in the
against
past. Because
him.
I'm
I
like,
was
how
just about to
old
say
were
that.
they? Because
yeah.
under 20 is like, what? You don't know what the fuck you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah,
you don't
and
even have
finding so much
experience.
That's why
what's
I'm not
going on,
holding it
yeah.
against him. That's why I
Yeah.
made sure to put that in there because I was like, it looked obviously pre-rodeo.
Yeah.
And that was at least 5 to 7 years ago, right?
But see, but
You know
that's
what I
why kids today are like in fucking hell because everything they say from like 12 is going to be documented. You know, it's like, oh, you said that homophobic joke at fucking 15. Oh, cancel.
mean? Time to answer for it at 35, as you just
Yeah,
said.
and you don't do that anymore. You grown as a person.
They were trying to cancel. What was it? Jimmy Fallon a couple weeks.
Jimmy Fallon recently.
That,
Yeah.
that was on
Yeah.
our
I
know about
that
that.
was
He
on our
did
topics
blackface.
list.
Yeah,
did,
yeah, he
like,
did
way back.
Chris
Oh,
Rock. He
like
did
way,
a
way,
Chris
way
Rock
back.
skit or whatever. And, you know.
Because that was on the topics. My bad, Sean.
How come
Yo.
they
It
never?
was?
They never.
Chris Rock in that video.
They never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
They
I
never
don't
went
count
at
it.
Robert Downey Jr. for that.
Yeah,
Tropic
I
Thunder.
don't count that.
You
You
know,
know,
nobody-
like
yeah,
because
does.
but the Robert Downey
Wasn't he,
Jr.
like,
thing.
making
Tropic
fun
Thunder.
of the
Making fun.
idea
Yeah,
of
yeah. He
people-
was.
Exactly.
He was. He was.
Like,
He
it
was.
was
He was.
satire. People
He talked
today don't
about it.
understand
He
what
talked about it on
satire
Joe
is.
Rogan,
He was
didn't
ahead of his time.
He talked
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, he talked about it
And
on
that was
Joe
a great
Rogan actually.
performance, man.
Yeah.
That was funny as shit.
Yeah,
I
I thought
never
it was dope.
seen it.
I didn't
I
even
never
know at the
seen
first.
it.
Nobody knew it was him. Even like that's crazy.
Nobody's ever done that. Mocking people that have done it.
Yeah.
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 See,
that's
but
true.
his joke with Robert Downey Jr., the whole joke was actually he was mocking actors who get so deep into those roles and
yeah,
shit
yeah.
that he just took it a step further and became a different race.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
joke
yeah,
right there. You know,
yeah,
I think you had the black dude in the movie pointing out how stupid it was. You know,
yeah.
so that doesn't.
Yeah,
count.
they
That's
did
satire.
actually.
I gotta
They did.
rewatch
They
that
did.
movie.
So do
Yes,
I.
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of that, perfect segue. It's on HBO Max.
Oh
And
shit! Oh shit! We were talking about that earlier.
Is it really?
It's on HBO Max.
I'm gonna watch
yeah,
Tropic
because
Thunder
I
then.
saw
Y'all
it.
gotta give me that password.
The last time I saw it, I think
Bruh,
it
yeah, the
still holds
HBO
up.
Max is like that. Well, I mean, HBO Max is new on the streets. It's got all. It's like when Barbershop. Y'all gonna like this. It's like when Barbershop came out on the good. No. I take it back. I'm getting it perfect.
No, you're wrong.
Because I want to make sure y'all. I want to make sure y'all feel the happiness. Y'all remember when bootlegs made a transition from terrible VHSs of people like setting up tripods in
And
the movie theater
DVDs on the street.
to like stolen production from the studio?
Yeah.
Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
So it's like
Download
this,
on LimeWire
It's
and
like
shit.
okay, that's what HBO.
Like this is the actual thing.
That's what HBO Max is. HBO Max is the guy who has the cleared copies of the bootleg.
Yeah.
He just pulled up to the barbershop and he got everything.
Yeah, everything.
He got everything.
man.
That's literally, bro. When I was going through HBO Max, I said, "Boy, they are not playing on this."
It's
shit.
like
They
that.
got everything.
bro. They have everything.
I'm gonna check
bro.
that shit out.
HBO Max, we got
They have
everything.
shit. You're just
Yo,
like,
yeah, send me that password.
I got you, dog.
bro,
I got you.
It's got everything, bro. Like, it's dope. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
dope.
I'm
So
gonna peep
yeah,
it.
if
I'm
you
gonna
got HBO Go, y'all got HBO Max. Download that bitch and lose your mind. Set up because this
Did
is
they
my-
have barbershop soup on there? Because when you
don't-
said barbershop, you just made me think about that
They
moment.
might have, but honestly,
Was it
I
two?
think Stars got a barbershop.
They
on
probably
it.
do. Was that part where he put the patch in the dude's hair and he was like trying to comb it over?
That was barbershop too.
Man, that shit was hilarious.
But honestly, when we first downloaded, I just went through and we just like saved a bunch of shit that we want to see later.
Oh,
We were just like scrolling through, like looking at the titles, like God damn, nigga, let me save the add it to my watch now later. You know what I mean? Like, bro, it just got all the good shit on there. Like, definitely refreshing. Like, it's like brand new streaming platform. We used to go to Netflix. We used to go into Hulu. You know what I mean? It's like
That's why it has people.
And then Disney Plus also disappointed me. So
yeah.
did it?
Yeah, what's going on
Did it?
with that?
Yeah. Like what's going on with
Disappointed me,
Disney?
man. I don't know. I'm probably gonna cancel.
What are
my
their
membership.
movie selection
Honestly,
like?
I canceled mine after I
Watched
Damn, I
Man-
didn't even
Mandalorian.
finish that.
Did you finish
When-
Mandalorian?
No, I didn't finish
That shit was fire.
Mandalorian.
That's fire. That's the only thing I
didn't watch
liked.
it.
Mandalorian. It's a
Star
Star Wars
Wars.
joint. It was fire.
Oh,
Yeah, like a
I'm
Star
not
Wars
Star
short.
Wars
Baby
fan.
Yoda.
I don't know. See,
Yeah.
I'm my fandom with Star Wars is weird because like I know all the characters' name, but I don't know anybody's backstory. But like I can tell you
I
who's
like
who.
how they're
Yeah, I'm a
You know what
casual fan.
I'm
Like,
pretty casual with it.
I've seen all the movies and stuff
the-
like that, but I don't
yeah.
know like the comic books and the
Right,
cartoons. and
right.
stuff
Like
that.
I'm pretty
You're not
casual.
deep. You're not deep.
But
Yeah.
but the Mandalorian was fire.
Yeah, I heard it was. A
Don't
pretty
ask me
good
to tell you
show.
anything about it, but I enjoyed
All
it.
right, bro. I try to watch so many of them, bro. But that's just my thing. Like, and I'm gonna try to watch that one, but
Nah, that was
because my dad is huge into that, and like that was one of those things. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take my son to, you know what I'm saying, Star Wars
You just
movie.
weren't down.
I'm just like, this ain't it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just.
What was your thing? Like, what did you like? When you went to-
Game
that
of
was like, man,
Thrones,
this is my
Harry
thing.
Potter.
Game of Thrones, Harry Potter.
Game of Thrones, Harry Potter. I read
Those are fire.
both of those.
I've
read
never
the
seen the Harry Potters.
What? You were tripping, dog.
Yeah,
Those are
Linus was
fire.
actually like rewatching all of them recently.
Those are
Yeah,
fire.
because
And I was like, man, cut it off, like jokingly.
It's like
and then
that.
after a while, I'll be like, so wait, why is he doing that?
Yeah,
hold
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So wait,
Hey.
he was
So
living
what
under
about Lord of the
stairs
Rings?
set?
Oh, I fuck with Lord of the Rings too.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
I fuck with that heavy.
They got all the hobbits on there, bro.
Oh, they do?
They got War.
I've
of
only
the
seen like Hobbit
War of the
1 and 2.
five armies.
Bro, that War of the Five Armies.
Is that the third
crazy.
one?
This is
Second
the,
one.
I think I saw the
Smaug
second.
is the
It
second
might be
one.
the
I
third
think.
one.
I
It
think
might be
it's
the third
third
one.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Smaug is the second one.
First of all,
Yeah,
the
Smaug,
Hobbit
yeah.
movies are amazing, and they have all
Better
of them
than
on
Lord of the
there.
Rings?
Not for me.
I don't know, bro, but it's damn
It's up
sure.
there, but
it feels good.
emotionally for me.
It feels good, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know what to tell you. It feels good.
I love that you're into Lord of the Rings. Like,
Yeah,
sometimes
man,
I
that shit's
feel
fire,
alone
bro.
on that shit.
Yeah,
Nah,
bro.
man, that shit's fire,
Bro,
dog.
one of my homeboys years ago when I was younger, he gave me The Hobbit. He was like, bro, watch this. You know these Lord of the Ring movies. This is the first book, The Hobbit. So I was familiar with The Hobbit because I've read half of that. But it was like, I was too young, bro. I couldn't comprehend what the fuck they were talking about. Like, some of those books were so advanced when
So
I was
dense,
like,
yeah.
in
And making up
eighth
words and
grade.
shit.
Yeah, it's words that I know.
Mountain
Bro,
Scomanar.
that's why I always love the Kindle. Bro, on the Kindle, if you don't know a word, you just hold your finger over it, give you the definition, and you keep it pushing, bro. I love it, bro.
Oh, that's fire.
What?
I learned so many words with my Kindle, bro.
That's fire.
I learned so many words.
Why hasn't Apple
because-
picked that up again?
Well, they have the Kindle app on
That's
there, and they do the same thing.
I guess. Okay, bad.
Yeah, but it's just
Wow.
Kindle on your phone or tablet. It's not the same. I had one of those Kindles that looked, it was electronic, but it looked like
paper. Yeah.
So it wouldn't strain your eye. Like
your
I don't
eyes.
want
Yeah.
to
You can
Look at it
any
anytime. Yeah, that's the thing about reading on screens. That's why you want to do it in like the sepia color.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly. That warm color,
Yeah.
but the Kindle that I had looked like
turn the black
paper
light
that
down a
just
little bit.
changed.
I've seen that
Backlight.
before.
Yeah.
At first I was like, damn, I ain't trying to read off a screen. And then I looked at one. I was like, this looks like.
It looks like paper.
Yeah.
It's dope, but yeah, it's much easier on your eyes, and they got that function where that's my favorite function, bro. You see a word you don't know, bro.
That's
I
powerful.
literally don't have to guess, bro. I don't have to.
Or I don't have to
context
pull out my
clues.
phone and go to
Bruh,
Google or nothing.
Hold
Yeah.
that shit open. I be like, okay, that's what it
I try to
means.
read a book.
That's the
I
word
try to
of the
read
day.
Yeah, bro.
There's a book literally like maybe 2 months ago I started trying to read, and like the first chapter took me forever to read because there's so many like terms that I was like I've never seen this
You
term.
put it
Yeah.
down.
And I put it down
It's
just to
so
like Google it
frustrating,
and like
bruh.
just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
Ooh, speaking of that, that's one thing. My mom actually, shout out to Mom Dukes, of course, always. But my mom,
Always.
Yeah.
her job just gave them, like everybody that works for her company, they gave them Audible for free.
Oh.
So she sent, I think she told me, and she was like, if you want to just tell me, so I give you I need to tell her to send it to me. Because that's one thing I'm going to try to stop doing. Well, I'm not even going to stop doing. I'm like going to stop kidding myself.
about audiobooks.
I just feel like, I need to stop sleeping on audiobooks. Like, I'm not
Have you
really-
ever listened to one?
I've done.
Yeah.
I've
I've listened to one
I
before.
listened to Andrew
yeah.
Yang's audiobook.
Yeah.
yeah.
I've listened to one before, and it's just like a podcast to me. It's literally
So the
just
only ones I've listened to are both the Charlemagne's, actually.
yeah.
word?
And it's
See, I
just
haven't even read his
awesome
books
hearing
yet.
him read the book.
That, I
Exactly.
believe
Straight
that's
up.
I believe that's
Like,
dope.
super good.
Did you read them
And-
too?
Nah.
No, there's no
There's
point.
no point. There's no
You
point.
did,
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
You-
yeah.
you
But
did
it's like
read
listening to podcasts. I just
Yeah.
throw it on.
Just throw it on and let it go.
And it's like, bro, I just don't.
couldn't
I
figure
don't
out how to
know. I
work
don't know if
Audible.
this is the way my life is set up now. It just, I don't
It'll
know
feel
if
better.
I don't know if I haven't made the time, but I just don't have time. Like, I ain't got time to be, 30
Yeah.
minutes before bed, sitting in my bed.
Fall
reading
asleep.
that. I'd much rather be doing something else on the computer and listening to it, just like my podcast.
Yeah.
Or in my shower.
car,
or
grocery
in
store,
the
whatever.
car, grocery store. It's like, I could be reading way more books, or at least ingesting books, because it doesn't matter if you read them or not, bro. Reading's gonna honestly, make you a little bit sharper mentally. But you need that information regardless, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I wish like I don't know if this is simp level, but I wish like some like fantasy or whatever kind of books like that it's like a narrative.
yeah.
I wish they would maybe the one I read
The
didn't
sound
do this.
effects.
Kinda. I wish
Shot
music.
That would be fire. That
You
would be
shot
fire.
out, and
then
then
he
just
died.
you hear in the background, you hear the sound effects, and then maybe there's some like music. I wish they make it a little more visceral.
But honestly, bro, you can win a Grammy off an audiobook.
Really?
So I
yeah.
feel like whoever,
You got an idea.
So I
Yeah.
feel like whoever does that first with a successful book,
Yeah.
it's
just
got,
be like
that's
an
got to be an
audible
automatic
movie.
Grammy, right?
Yeah. Like an
Lord of the
audible
Rings
movie.
have an audiobook?
At the, it has to, bro.
You got to, right?
Yeah,
I think
but
they're
The
turning
good one
everything
is
into
it just some like old random
That's
white guy
true because
reading
they
it?
didn't. Really,
Gonna fall
that's
asleep,
true.
or is it
That's
like
true because they
you
didn't really
shot the
care.
gun
They
and
didn't
you
really
just-
care about that back then.
Yo,
Yeah.
the fact that you just said shot a gun for Lord of the Rings is
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
So the Hobbit took out his gat.
Legolas shot his gun. Excuse me.
I haven't seen
Sorry, wrong book.
3 at a
My
time.
bad. I just voted for that.
I'm watching the news.
By the way, one of the best characters in the show.
Legolas.
One of yes.
What, Legolas?
Legolas. Oh, yes.
Legolas. Yeah.
Wait, is it Legolas?
Legolas. That's
I
what I
thought it
always
was
say.
Legolas.
It's Legolas.
Might be. Hey, I don't know.
I think it's
I
Legolas. I
fuck
think
with
it is.
It's Legolas.
But underrated Lord of the Rings video games.
Fire.
Oh,
I played. Yeah, I played one of those.
so, yeah.
I played one of
One of
those.
those
Underrated.
PlayStation 2.
But yep, I played that one.
That's the
Fire.
one.
That's the one. That's the
You
one.
are
Yeah.
in the middle of
Yes,
the
sir.
war.
Yes, that's the one. That's the
have,
one.
yeah.
That's the one. That's the one.
Every
think I read it,
direction,
yeah.
Yeah.
every direction you
Yeah,
turn.
it's somebody to
that
swipe.
was like,
Yeah.
hold on. I feel like that was the first video game that did that. I was like, yo, I'm
Bro,
really
This is
out
crazy.
here.
You in there?
Bro,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
in the field,
But
bro.
wait.
I'm in
But
the
weren't
field,
you
bro.
in there with like a couple other people with you?
Yes,
Yes,
you
Dude,
had
with
your
the
Yes,
little-
yes.
axes in there, everybody.
Everybody
I think you
was
got
in there
to
with
pick
you.
your guy.
It's like 4 of them, and you got to
Bro,
pick.
And then you level
Yeah.
up their weapons, bro.
Oh,
so you would have,
yeah, it was fire. It was
you would
fire.
have flaming arrows. Then you'd have purple arrows, blue arrows.
That was the which
That was-
that was
I
for
don't
the
remember
second
what it was.
movie.
It was fire. though.
that
Twin
big
Towers.
war.
Twin Towers.
Yes,
Twin
Yeah.
Twin Towers.
Twin Towers.
I played
It
that
comes
game.
back. We were talking about 9/11.
Right.
Ooh.
Right. Oh,
By the way, that was planned.
wait, the Twin Towers, the 2 towers. Oh shit.
Oh, it's the two towers.
Yeah, it's
Same
the 2
thing?
towers. Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it?
It is the 2 towers.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the Twin Towers were 2 towers.
Same
Woo!
thing.
Woo!
That's crazy. And that movie came out after
Everything
a year
is
after
everything is
9/11
relevant.
happened.
Why is it called the two towers?
It's relevant. That's why.
Where's the two towers in the?
Oh no, there was two. It was the
big battle at
the
the
big
two
the towers with what's his
the
name
very,
went Sauron went
I need to rewatch that.
Well, he
Yo,
went bad.
that game.
We're talking about
bad.
names, right?
Yeah.
Like,
game.
When you were in the field,
shit was
you were
fire,
out
bro.
there
That
and
shit
you
was
was
fire.
murking people.
Yeah.
Even though like going back, if you went back now, it's not the same.
Probably not.
Bro, they need to okay, they're rebooting Tony Hawk.
need to redo
I need a reboot, bro. I need a reboot, bro.
The way they're redoing Tony Hawk.
Facts,
and,
bro.
and like a lot of games, they're
need
They're
a few
rebooting a
reboots.
lot of games, bro.
Resident
We need
Evil.
to like movies. Just reboot.
You know what else
That's
they need to
what's
reboot?
happening.
They need to reboot the Matrix game, underrated classic.
That was
Oh, wait, the Matrix
Underrated
Reloaded?
classic game.
The Matrix
Oh.
Reloaded?
Play that game?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Xbox One.
My homie had that
Yeah.
shit.
Wait,
Okay,
PlayStation 2, bro.
and not
It was on
Xbox
PS2.
One.
It was on
I'm
PS2. It
talking-
was on PS2.
PlayStation.
I'm talking about
It
the
was
green
PlayStation
and the
2.
green and black Xbox. The-
Okay.
the
Or
original.
was it on both systems?
It might have been on both.
He said the Xbox One. I was like, that just came out.
Yeah, he's talking about the green one where they had the Fable and all that shit. on there.
Original system. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have
That
you
game was
ever
good.
like? You guys have siblings?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
well, yeah.
Two sisters.
Are they gamers? They play.
No.
My brother's
Hell no, I was the
a-
only one.
Yeah, I'm the only one too.
Me and my sister shared a moment with Pokemon because it took over everybody, but it didn't last long.
So, have you ever had a situation where like one of your siblings is playing a game and it's so good you just sit down and watch them play it?
Oh yeah,
That's
oh,
what
yeah.
I mostly did.
I've seen
with
that with
my-
my, I've seen that with my
Yeah.
friends before.
Yeah,
but
I've seen it with my
yeah.
homeboy, like our homeboy Brandon.
Oh yeah, he's played some
huge
shit
gamer.
before where I'm just like,
And he plays some shit, and he knows all video games.
Yeah.
He plays some
Yeah.
shit. We be like, "What the fuck are you playing?" Like,
Yeah.
you
and
know
then
what
we
I
just
mean?
with, like, a
sitting
storyline.
there passing the joint around.
Storyline.
That was
Yeah.
like me and my brother with the PlayStation 2. It's like Final Fantasy.
I love that game though.
Yeah,
I was always watching, and then Metal Gear Solid.
Man, I love that.
That
shit.
was one where I was watching.
That is fire.
Like,
'Cause I wasn't good
like,
enough
Yo,
to
you playing
play.
tonight?
You never played
All right,
Metal
I'll
Gear
be
Solid?
there.
It's
I
almost
did,
like you
That
felt
shit's
like you
fire,
were watching
When-
a movie or
but
something.
when Metal Gear Solid first came out, I wasn't good enough to play.
I played
kept getting
when it first
caught,
came out. I
like-
wasn't either. I played on
was
PS1.
terrible.
On PS1, I had that one. That was
That
fire.
was
It was like
fun,
a
yeah.
4-disc joint. That was the first
Yeah.
time they had like disc sets for the joints.
Yeah.
They had like long games and
Metal
shit.
Gear
Yeah.
Solid is a crazy storyline.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
And then we
Cutscenes
turn around the
are
corner. We
crazy
turn around the
then,
corner. The dude's exclamation point in their
Bro.
head. He's like,
yeah.
it's like, you know, they
I'll
had-
never forget, bro. Metal Gear Solid came. Okay, when PlayStation 1 was out,
my brother played
and
it.
you ordered pizza from
Yep.
Pizza Hut.
the demo discs.
They would give you PlayStation demo discs.
Demo
and it was
discs.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yep.
Wow.
You didn't know about that?
Whole facts, bro.
I used to get the pizza with the demo disc. My parents would get
whole
pizza. I'll
facts.
be like, they knew to give me the joint
I
with the
got
demo
the-
disc.
Yes, bro. If you had a PlayStation,
Every time you order a pizza,
every
they
time
give
you
a
order a
different
pizza,
demo disc, bro.
Facts, bro.
Crash
Pizza
Bandicoot
Hut.
on there.
So
all
you would
sorts of
let
other
them know
shit.
on
Yeah.
the phone, yo, I want a large pepperoni. Last time I
comes
got
with it, bro.
Metal Gear Solid, so
Comes
this
with it.
time give me something.
Just come in.
Like,
Yeah.
No, they had
I
a
don't
different.
know.
They had like a different thing running every like couple weeks or
Yeah,
whatever.
so if you order pizza back to back,
Yeah.
it was
It
always
was-
Metal
it was
Gear.
called the Jam Pack disc.
Yeah.
I thought that.
And
And it had like 2 or 3. Yeah, they had like a different like tint color on it. One was blue,
Yeah.
one was red.
I thought y'all
And
like,
something
like,
orange
y'all
or
used to
something.
go through like the drive-through. You get your Happy Meal with the toy, and you let
Low-key,
them.
it was
You
like
let
that.
them
It was like
know.
that.
You
It
let
was like
them
that.
know, like, yo, last time
Nah, I don't think
I
it was
got
like
this.
that.
Like,
It might have
can
been
y'all
though, for
can y'all
real,
hook me
though.
up?
Yeah.
Like,
Honestly, it might have been. I don't remember because I wasn't the one calling either. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
so wait, you were in the Pokemon? You said?
I was in a Pokemon, like Game Boy Color Pokemon. Yeah.
Did you
Pokemon
remember
Yellow.
when Burger King had the Pokemon toys?
Yes, I do. Yeah,
Vaguely,
that was
I
They
think.
huge,
had
yeah.
so many
Man,
toys.
I wasn't in the
They had
Pokemon.
almost like every Pokemon.
They did. They went crazy, bro.
My
Man, I
neighbor
was
was into
doing every.
Pokemon.
I was
night.
Digimon.
For
kid.
real.
I was like, yo, yeah, let me get those nuggets.
You know what I
like-
vividly remember the most? I vividly remember the most the McDonald's cups, the Disney cups.
You know, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna
Yeah.
say you still have those fucking
And I still
retro
have
cups
them.
from the '90s and
And I
shit.
still have
Whoa.
them. Yeah, they're in the crib.
Yeah.
I still got
All
them.
right, yeah.
They kind of
And
That's
faded.
what I
and
gotta
stuff.
see.
Yeah.
I swear I
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
see those. That's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
got you.
crazy.
You have Aladdin.
And then I got Aladdin,
Yeah.
like Beauty and the Beast and shit. And another
like,
thing
I
that
remember those
Another
cups.
thing that I remember was Burger King did the Rugrats movie watches.
Oh, really?
Them watches slapped.
So this is
You could get a
1998.
Chucky watch that was like yellow, a Dill watch that was green.
I would probably want a Chucky watch.
Tommy watch was blue. The Phil and Lil, they had their
You
own
got 'em all?
watch. I didn't have them all. I had about 3 of them though. Them shits were fire, bro.
Yeah.
Fire, bro. Like
Phil and Lil were wild, yo.
And I also remember the rodeo burger, bro. First of all,
Wait, what?
do y'all? When's the last time y'all seen Small Soldiers? If y'all want to just,
I love that fucking movie, bro.
I love Small Soldiers. I love Small Soldiers, man. Small Soldiers,
movie.
man. Small Soldiers.
I love that fucking movie,
Hold
bro.
up, hold up. No, no, no.
Oh
no,
my
no, no,
God,
no,
bro.
Hold up. Small Soldiers
That's-
is one of the best
movie.
movies of all fucking time.
Small soldier.
It's so gangsta, bro.
I had the action figures. I probably still
They
do
were going
at
for
my
blood,
mom's
bro.
house.
Bro, they were trying to kill them, bro.
They were out
Yo,
for blood, bro.
the music when you see the soldiers.
Yes,
It was
bro.
crazy. Yo.
Okay.
Holy
Another
shit.
kids movie
Yeah.
that was way realer than we
Yep.
remember.
Oh, you gonna tell me about it?
Are
I
you
didn't watch it
ready?
yet. I still didn't
Are
watch
you
it
ready?
yet. I didn't
Damn,
talk
we're
about
really off Small Soldiers like that.
Yeah. Are you ready?
it. Like I still didn't talk about it.
You
I
don't
know.
remember when they grinded the dude up? in
Bruh,
the
I
Oh
re-
my god,
Bro,
I
I
remember
remember
all that shit.
It was
everything,
a dark
bro.
Toy
Bro,
Story.
you know who reminded me of that shit? When the first Avatar movie came out, I thought the commander reminded me of the commander from Small
Ah,
Soldiers.
yeah.
Facts.
He looked
I was like,
Oh,
holy
wait,
shit.
You know what? Yeah, you tripping.
They
I'm
were
bugging.
3D printing in Small Soldiers.
That's a
before
fact,
3D
though.
printing
That's
was
a fact, though.
thing.
That's a fact, bro. They were 3D printing when it was $1 million job.
That's crazy.
So how did they get that information?
Okay.
How did they get that
And
information?
The reason I brought Small Soldiers up is because Burger King had a rodeo.
Small
Burger
Soldiers
King
so good.
had a rodeo burger, and it was a cheeseburger with onion rings and barbecue sauce on it.
Okay.
I used to fuck them shits up.
Wait, bring it back.
Wait. Hold on. What does that have to do with Small
Bring
Soldiers?
it back. I want to hear it.
Did somebody eat that in Small Soldiers? I don't remember any burgers.
I'm gonna be real. I don't know. It was part of the marketing, but
Yo, hold on one second, man.
it was literally
Small-
it
we
was
gotta
because
talk
of
about
Small
it, man.
Soldiers.
Yeah.
Small Soldiers had the love story,
Bro.
They were trying to kill them,
They
bro.
were trying to kill him, bro.
He
were
was
trying to-
working at the toy store and he had a crush on the girl.
Girl.
Yeah, bro.
Kirsten
And he was
Dunst.
like classic,
And
like
then-
90s. I got the like middle part type
Yes.
bowl
Yeah,
cut
the
thing
bowl
going
cut. The
on.
bowl cut.
That shit's crazy, dog.
Yes, sir.
All the
And the
boys had the
Barbies
bowl
was
cut.
wild.
Okay.
Tommy
It
Lee
was
Jones.
like
The
that.
whole
It was
thing
like
was
that.
crazy, bro.
Bro, they were making nail guns. They was busting
The
that
nail
bitch like
gun-
a
The
bro.
nail gun-
That shit was
when they
Flaming tennis balls.
Yo,
everything was crazy.
when
Yeah,
the
you remember
when the
the dog?
army soldiers recruited the Barbie dolls, and
Oh,
they-
yeah.
Shit was-
It
and
got
they
dark.
started
It
great.
got
That's what I'm
dark.
It
saying,
got
bro.
dark. Yeah.
It got dark, bro. It
got
got
wild,
dark, bro.
yo.
They
Scary
had,
nightmare.
They had
Yeah.
100 units on the street.
Yeah. See,
They-
it's so crazy,
they-
man. Like the '90s
Did
were
y'all have the
fucking
action
crazy.
figures?
No, I
didn't
didn't have
get
that.
I
I
didn't
didn't
get
have
that.
that.
I
shit.
probably had
Remember
like
the
one.
twisty like
Twisty
blue guy?
alien dude.
I got
kinda dude.
him at. It wasn't Walgreens. What was the store? It was Eckerd's. Remember? Eckerd's?
Oh, hell
Eckerd's.
yeah. Bro,
I was
remember
in there one day
I
with my
used to go to
mom,
Eckerd's
and
all
I
the
go.
time,
I'm
bro.
like, hey, let me go check the toys, even though the toys usually
Trash.
like
Hey,
they
they
were
try-
trash.
they Eckerd's
But
was
they
like-
had him, and I was like, yo, mom, like,
Eckerd's had
this
the-
is the.
Yeah.
I
What do I
gotta
gotta
get
do?
this.
They had the dollar
And
store
that thing-
toys. Eckerd's.
The
They
toy,
did,
the
yeah.
toy, its arms went up like this
And just spun
spin
around.
it.
Yeah. And he was like
Yeah,
purple,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
or something? Like
Blue or
He was
something.
blue.
Yeah.
He was blue. Yeah,
He was the
yeah.
crazy one,
He was
right?
great. Yeah, he was like one of the crazy ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He
Yeah,
was. He
he
was
was
the fucking crazy one.
I
Yeah.
always liked that one. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
That
One.
guy.
right.
That guy. He
Watch that
represents
movie.
me.
Yeah. He represents who I am.
All right, I got another deep
such a good
ass
movie.
child's movie that was slept on. I saw it recently. I hope other people. I know he hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I know
The
you're talking- I know
Indian
you're
in the
saying.
cupboard.
Oh, I saw that. Maybe
The
3
Indian
years
in
ago.
the cupboard
I
was
haven't
like
seen that in so long.
Maybe
but
3 years ago.
holy
Bro.
It
shit.
was on Netflix.
Bro, they
just
would put
you just remember what was happening.
Yeah.
We're talking cowboys and Indians, bro. When he put them toys in there and they came to life, they were trying to kill each other, bro.
Yeah.
and that was very realistic.
And it was
when I
real
a kid.
life, bro. They were smoking cigarettes. He was
They were
like,
smoking cigarettes?
Hell yeah, bro. The cowboy was.
Oh,
Bro,
yeah,
He was
yeah.
like, you
This is a
Indian.
kids movie. Like,
Bro.
The
Wow.
90s was crazy.
Bruh.
Cinematically, they were
Yeah.
crazy.
And then it was that
Fire.
one moment where they had PTSD. They're watching like a cowboy and Indian thing on TV, and
Oh,
this-
yeah.
At this time, they're getting along. The cowboy and the Indian are getting along, but they're watching like cowboys and Indians on
Shooting
TV.
each other and shit.
So the cowboys getting hyped, like, yeah, get the Redskins. And then the Indian dude is going through like PTSD. He's got his bow and arrow. And he's-
Oh, yeah.
I
and he-
remember
he
that.
thought it was
he's
real.
looking at the TV.
He was
Thinking
freaking
it's
out.
real.
He was
When
freaking
the kid
out,
first
and then he
opened
turned around
and shot the
fucking
cowboy.
cowboy because the
Yeah.
cowboy let a round off in the air, bro. And he
Yo,
was like,
when he first opened that cupboard in the end, he was like
Yeah.
freaking out.
Didn't you think that was fucking incredible? Just from like a
We gotta
movie
rewatch
scene?
it.
Is that on
Bro.
Max? Is it on HBO Max?
I don't know, but it's on TV somewhere.
Is
I
it on
wouldn't
HBO
doubt it.
Max?
I
wouldn't
just
doubt
saw
it.
it
If
recently,
it
bro.
is, man, I need that password. Is Small
Yeah.
Soldiers on there? Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
are we
I don't
talking
know.
about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to
I
look
need
that
to
up
see
too.
all of this shit again after
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yo, we should like, man, do movie reviews.
I'm
man.
with it.
Old
We should.
90s, man.
Hey,
Oh,
once I
hell
get
yeah.
that section set up, that's what
Yeah.
that section
Get it
will be.
Retro
Literally,
review. Retro
all the
movie
like
review.
all the random videos you want to do video for us, it'll
Right
be
there.
done over there.
Y'all ever see
Yeah,
Hell
yeah, I
yeah.
saw Airbud.
Hell
I
yeah.
vaguely remember it, but I remember Airbud.
They had too many though. It
Yeah,
got
but
it got,
straight
it
to
got
DVD,
I ain't talking
yeah.
about. I don't even remember.
Yeah,
the
I ain't
other
talking
one.
about number
Air Bud.
13.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about the first Air.
you talking
Bud.
about balling there, bud. With the
I think that is
Yeah.
the first time I ever cried watching a movie.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
the ending.
Dead ass when the clown and they were trying to figure out which way
Which
to
way
go.
to go.
Clown. Yeah, that was deep. That was
He
a deep.
started going towards the
Clown, yeah, and then he like
That
turned
motherfucker
back.
pulled the
and came back.
newspaper out. What a terrible tactic to get your dog
And
to come
like,
back.
Yeah.
I had a golden retriever. I was in there hugging my dog, bawling.
Yeah.
That movie was fucking crazy. He was really on the basketball team.
The way he lured the dog in with the fucking like yogurt.
It's like a dog
Yeah.
played basketball. You know, you think
was
about it, it's like
balling.
shit.
Everybody was going off.
Literally,
yo.
yeah,
He
he was
was,
balling.
he
I gotta
was.
rewatch that.
Yeah,
That was that's crazy
Is
that
that HBO Max?
they had a movie
It
like
might
that.
be HBO.
I'm telling you,
Obviously,
the
see what we're doing.
90s, man.
HBO, you see what we're doing out here, right? Cut
Yeah.
the check.
I don't know if it was because like the 90s, like there was studios were so brave back then to take risks because it wasn't like they didn't have superhero movies like
They
that.
did.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you had
yeah.
Batman,
But it wasn't
and
nothing
Superman.
crazy though. It was really just Batman.
But that's
and
all you really
Spider-Man, I
had. Yeah,
guess.
but then other like regular movies went to like #1 in the box office. Movies where people
Well,
talked
I
and
feel
shit.
like they did movies that today you would consider corny.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
toys
corny.
rising up and having a war.
That's true.
A golden retriever playing
But it wasn't
basketball.
corny
That's true.
though.
Yeah.
But it
bro.
was.
It was just a fresh
We gotta
idea.
go back and rewatch
Yeah.
these.
Yeah, it
But
was-
I think I watch Small Soldiers once a year, and that shit ain't corny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit is
That
shit
shit
lit,
still
bro.
goes.
That
That
shit
shit
still-
goes.
Hey
Nah,
yo,
for
hey
real.
y'all, Indian in the cover is.
I gotta watch that. I
Yeah.
still haven't seen that.
forever.
I haven't seen that.
But when I say that shit's powerful, bro, the little boy, his best friend is coming over. Like me and you, a little kid. I find it, and you come over to my house and spend the night, and I show you, and you're like, yo, let's do this.
Yeah.
And I start spazzing on you. These are real people.
Yeah.
Like
I hated that
bruh.
kid, by the way.
Yo,
Bruh.
AJ watched that movie, and then he went home after the theater and put his toy in.
And the
Goddamn
dress.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
You gotta
and the-
try it.
And look, and the real OGs that remember, let me tell you how gangster this shit was. If you bought it on VHS, inside the VHS plastic sleeve, because you know it's like a plastic sleeve,
Yep.
there was a key. And on the, it was a plastic key, and you take the plastic key out. You don't have to do this, obviously, but on
Yeah.
the side where you crack the VHS packaging open, it's a slot. You put the key in to open the VHS.
Damn.
That's
Like
wild.
that.
Just for that movie.
Just for that movie.
That's wild.
Damn, that's clever
That's-
marketing.
that's-
detail, man.
That's like
Yeah.
on Space Jam. Space Jam had like a little gold coin in the corner of the packaging, I think. I think it was Space Jam. I can't remember what movie I had, but it was like a little gold coin. I feel like it was
What
Space
was, the,
Jam.
what was the purpose of the coin?
I don't know, honestly.
It probably had
So
something.
it
to
might
do
not
with
have been Space Jam.
I'm gonna keep this forever.
Yeah, it might not have been Space Jam.
I'm gonna put
but
this in the
It's
bed.
funny.
It was something like that, though. You know what I mean?
You remember
Like,
the
yeah.
scene though in Indian in the Cupboard where he put like a T-Rex and RoboCop in there. He closed it, opened it up, and they were like fucking. I was
bruh,
like,
it's
holy
crazy,
shit!
bro.
I gotta go back and
crazy,
rewatch
bro.
this.
It's-
I feel like they took that concept that you have now, because I started watching a show called Lock and Key on Netflix, and it's kind of like they have like keys that do certain things,
Oh shit, yeah, a little bit then, yeah.
and then like one of the keys, like the key house is a
Yeah.
key house, like a family named the Locks,
Yeah.
and they own the key house.
Yeah.
And like
shit.
the key house has a bunch of different keys that do different things. Like there's a key that you can put into the back of your neck. You can go inside your mind and look at your memories.
What?
Shit like that. There's like a key that like
What is that
opens.
on?
I'm
Netflix?
good on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
You run into some
There's
memories
the,
you don't like.
Yeah, bruh, it's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
But then people can go in your memories with you. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah.
can go in there when you open the key, like this door appears and another version of you comes out and it's like, come on in. Pretty much or whatever. And there's like another key that like is this cupboard that if you break something, you put all the pieces back in there, you turn the lock, open it back up, and it's back in its
Oh
place.
Yeah.
shit.
So it's different keys that do different
That's
things. It's
trippy
kind
as
of
hell.
wild. Yeah.
Damn, is
I
it
sm-
Netflix?
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. My mom watched it, and I saw like the last 2 episodes
You
because
were like,
I
this
sat
is-
down with her.
Those last two.
Yeah,
kinda
yeah.
got you
It's
then.
kind of fucked me up because I was like, damn, I kind of know the ending now. But it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but like
But
I
it's
might go
still
back
so
and watch
much
it.
wild
Yeah,
shit
yeah, yeah.
happening.
So that just reminded me of that.
Y'all
when you talk about
ever
that
speaking of like '90s movies, y'all ever like buy the movie soundtracks back in the day?
The
Yeah, hell
90s
yeah,
was
bro.
the best decade for
Hey,
movie
man.
soundtracks. Down,
shit. I still fuck with the Lion King soundtrack.
it was the best.
I still fuck with that shit.
Nigga, what?
And the two-
Powerline
and
is
the-
a
some of
real
the
artist.
Space
2000s.
Jam soundtrack.
Space
I remember
Jam.
That shit was
My
crazy too.
cousin gave me that for my birthday.
Yeah,
I still have it.
yeah.
Damn.
Hit 'em high. The rap song on there.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The spitting on that song.
If you go back and listen to like Busta Rhymes and
LL Cool J, Be Real.
They
from
sound.
Cypress Hill.
They try to sound like each character of the Monstars.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
I didn't notice that.
Go back and listen.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Are you serious?
I just knew they had different
They
styles.
kind of
but-
have that personality of like
Oh,
each
of
one. Like
each
Busta
monster.
Rhymes sounds just like one of the characters in a way, and the way he's talking about how he's playing basketball and what he's gonna
Holy
do.
shit.
That shit is hard.
Holy shit. I didn't know. I didn't know it was
It's a
that
very
deep.
underrated
Yeah.
rap song for like a movie.
And for a kids movie, no less.
I hit him.
Yo,
I
you
hit
know
him,
what's
I hit
crazy?
him,
Oh
I-
yeah, I remember the record now. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, hit 'em low.
Hit 'em low.
My favorite.
Going straight for the. Ain't
when
got
I was
no game, I'm breaking them in the lane.
They had a video too. Yeah. What you saying?
the soundtrack, well, not even the soundtrack, but the two songs that really like fucked me up and made me think differently was the Goofy movie Powerline.
Oh man.
Never saw it.
Goofy movie's
yeah.
dope.
Goofy movie is Disney's unofficial
Goofy
black
movie
movie.
dope.
It's Disney's
Bruh.
unofficial black movie.
It is.
Yeah.
Low key, bro.
It's a black movie.
Yeah.
It's a black movie,
dope.
bro.
Cartoon.
But it's like,
Yeah.
but it speaks.
Yeah.
But it's you
It's
talking about
goofy.
you talking about Goofy movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it speaks to like the black kid who like this, like even like the skater black kid, low key.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It speaks to that kid too. Like,
Yeah.
Speaks to that, bro.
They're voiced by white people,
Bro,
but
When did this come out?
95.
This nigga
Damn,
knows
I
this
missed
shit.
that.
bro, you were on it, dog.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yo,
on-
we gotta do
95?
our movie,
It's on- I think
our
it's
song
on Disney
segment.
Plus.
Oh yeah, song segment.
It's on Disney Plus, definitely.
Space Jam '96.
But bruh, it's so ill, bruh. Like in
he's
the
better.
bruh, in like the opening scene. So in like the opening scene, Max,
I'm just
who's
old.
Max, who's Goofy's son, he's a skateboarder. He skates to school. He's got this elaborate scheme planned out with his homeboy to impress this girl, Roxanne.
Yeah.
Fire.
During the
Shit
scene-
that we've all done. Perfect.
Yeah, like during the end of year announcement, mind you, this is
Low
the
key, she
beginning-
was kind of fun.
bruh,
but-
and she was.
She's
fine,
a dog.
bruh.
She's
Bruh,
a
she
dog,
was.
by the way.
She was a fine cartoon.
Yeah.
Mind you, this is the end
Like
of
Lola
the.
Bunny.
That's a different.
This is the Lola Bunny.
He said it.
Lola Bunny.
He
Yeah.
said it.
Yeah.
That's a weird conversation.
Every,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Real.
us
It awakens
us
the
as
other boy.
boys, bro, we all had cartoons we were attracted to.
She from a Goofy movie because there's in the dream
Yeah.
sequence that in the beginning. Remember, she's like giving them the eyes and shit.
Yeah.
And then fucking what's her name from Lion King gave his ass like a look like I want to fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would feel.
Hey,
Can
look.
you feel?
So look-
Hold up,
so
man. We
look-
got
yeah.
too far to go.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
All
Yeah,
right,
we're
so
going dark.
Okay, so he got this elaborate scheme plan with his boy, bro.
Yeah.
They go to the school. This is the final auditorium meeting with the principal and the entire school at the end of the year.
Yeah.
The most popular artist at the time is this guy named Powerline. Powerline got this song called "Stand Out," I think.
He has
Stand
a
Out.
song.
Yeah.
Powerline is Tevin Campbell.
Yeah.
Just
The
to put
R
this-
90s
the
R&B,
the R&B
singer.
singer. Just to put this in perspective.
didn't know that.
So Powerline.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Powerline is Tevin Campbell.
Okay.
And he's got two smash fucking hits.
Yeah, Stand
called
Out.
Stand Out
And he
Eye
goes
Eye.
to the school, the high school.
He doesn't go to the high school, but this is
what he's
this
doing.
is
his
Michael
plot.
Jackson of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
And
much.
in order
He's the
to
Michael
protect-
Jackson of the world.
Yeah, of the world. And in order to impress this girl, me and my boy who does AV shit, we're gonna hijack the principal's last speech to the school. And we're gonna throw a fucking Powerline concert. I'm gonna do a cover to this shit. Do all the choreography. I'm gonna spit game, bruh.
To try to get the girl.
To try to get the girl, bruh.
Yeah.
It was so player, bruh.
Yeah.
You have no idea, bruh.
Was he successful?
It's successful
Yeah.
as fuck. It
Yeah.
got cut short, but it didn't
Yeah, see,
matter,
'cause-
bruh. He went so hard.
Yeah.
He went so fucking hard.
I gotta watch this.
Bro, you gotta watch it, bruh.
Is that on HBO Max?
Max.
It would probably be on
know.
Disney. Since it's
It's definitely on Disney
But,
Plus.
but another thing for HBO is like, do you
fact.
have that too?
But one thing though, bro, it was so hard, bro. His boy on the large screen, he's got him multiplied like 4 times.
Let's go.
While he's dancing. Then his boy's on the side with a fire extinguisher to make it look like it's. Bro, he's moonwalking on the stage, my nigga.
Yeah.
He's moonwalking on the stage. The girl, Roxanne's in the front row.
She's
Yeah.
freaking out.
Bruh, she's dead. She's just staring at him. He gets mad close to her, and he's like says this one line, a cartoon effect, where his tongue was like.
And that was it.
She was wet in that moment, bro.
Hold on. This is, pause.
It was so
Dude
much.
over here
It
talking
was
about how
so.
attractive she was.
Hell yes, she
We're
was.
talking about she being wet. Like, what are we doing?
Bruh,
People
it
were
was-
drawing.
Bro, it was so.
I missed this. Maybe
Bruh,
maybe
it
my
was-
mom didn't let me watch
it was
this movie
so
for a
much-
reason.
Oh yeah.
It was so much that happened in that moment, Mind you, they get sent to the principal's office, blah, blah, blah. Fuck all that shit, nigga. School's out, bruh. He goes outside. The whole school's like, yeah, Max, you killed that shit. Whoa. And he's the fucking guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is the final day, bruh. Max is a legend. Last day of school, bruh.
Damn.
He pulls it, yo, it's crazy.
Oh,
bruh.
he pulls her. All right, spoiler.
That's the
alert.
be-
Watch it now.
Sorry. No, you know, because that's literally like the opening scene of the movie.
Oh, shit.
There's a whole nother point that happens.
Yeah, the whole movie itself is a road trip between him and Goofy. Like,
Yeah.
Goofy and his son, and his son not wanting to do it.
Yeah.
And then them bonding at some
along the
point.
way.
That movie made me fucking cry.
Yeah.
Because
You're
yes.
about to cry right now.
If I talk about it too long, maybe. but there's a moment like it's a good father-son story, you know, because there's a part like I guess I want to spoil it, but it's so good, you know, because
don't
there's a
spoil
point.
it.
I mean, but I'll just say that there's a trick that Goofy wants to teach him, like a fishing trick, and it comes back to play in a very emotional way. You know, like where the son is not paying attention, but then he, you know.
I love cartoons like that.
Yeah, and then there's a moment that they share, and I was like,
The writers and people who do things like that are really good at like animating.
Disney
like,
does.
doing
Disney's
movies, like, doing a
in the
very good
place
job.
that it is for a reason.
it's so that's you can literally call
they're
it
like, we do
underrated.
this better than everybody. Don't
Facts.
you ever forget that?
But
yeah, like
part of me feels like HBO Max is better.
Yeah. Ooh, you see that?
HBO.
We got to get some of that.
You know,
HBO.
HBO. Let's have a serious conversation. Come here real quick.
Yeah.
Let's have a serious conversation. You see what Desus and Mero has done with
Showtime?
Showtime.
Yeah.
They're doing great. Nobody's been canceled yet.
Yeah.
That's all we really need to know.
Yeah.
The 3-0 podcast is open for licensing only. You can't have this shit. You know, let's just keep it all the way 100. You know what I'm saying? You holler at me, 3opodcast@gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? Slide in the DMs, my brother. But
Be the first podcast on your platform.
on the platform. But we low key we do got to wrap it up because if I even if I take 30 minutes off, we're at an hour 45 right now.
Damn, really?
What
Yeah.
was on the list? The other things on the list.
I mean, that's pretty much it, bro. It's been fucked this week. So
That's a
good
fact.
thing we had a great moment at the end.
It's been an hour 45.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
actually
no.
been-
It's
it's
been
been
Joe
over.
Rogan
no.
doing those
It's
3
been 2 hours
It's
and
been-
15 minutes, but I'm
Yeah.
breaking it into 2 episodes.
Yeah.
The first 30 minutes are just gonna be the friends, and then the last part will be the
Dope.
actual official episode. So yeah.
Yeah.
We
That's
got
cool.
we got 2 hours and 15 minutes. So yeah. But yeah, honestly, bro, there really wasn't. We literally covered.
I only
everything.
said I would do 1 episode for free.
Hey,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We'll talk about your booking rate later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, off the books, you know.
But yeah, I mean, literally, we talked about HBO Max, Freddie Gibbs, 1985 drop.
We just said we don't know.
We did, because we didn't listen to it. Jimmy Fallon, that came up naturally, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Minneapolis, obviously, we talked about all that shit.
Yeah.
Central Park, Unleashed Dog. We didn't talk about that, but I mean, what the fuck? You see what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
PS5 is dropping June 4th
Oh, wait a minute! I didn't know about that this year.
this year. Yeah, this year.
shit.
So
In June? I
think so.
feel like
That's what it
those
said.
things come out in like November and
No
shit.
way.
It
That's,
says-
I don't think that's real. Is that real?
oh wait, PS5. Oh, I'm sorry. PS5 news.
Oh,
Got
June
it. What it
4th.
was.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
that's like next month.
Give you news about it.
John
was like, that shit coming out
Boyega
John Boyega. Yeah.
speaks out against racism,
says
which I missed that.
Oh,
Did you
I
see
missed that. But, I mean, I knew the black dude from the Star Wars movies, but
Oh, is that
Oh,
what that
I
is?
saw that like
Oh,
the
okay.
tweets or something.
Wait.
I didn't hear,
I missed
against
the whole thing, 'cause
racism.
I didn't know
I
that
haven't
name
heard that
until you
one.
I
just
didn't even
said
know who
who
that
that
was. Yeah.
He's the dude in the newest Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
black
yeah,
dude
yeah.
got
Okay.
shortchanged.
I watched all those.
Finn.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Got
yeah.
shortchanged by the
So,
I
way.
don't
yeah.
know exactly. I forgot what he said, but it was like,
It was solid.
yeah, I think he even responded to somebody's tweet, and it was kind of crazy. Like,
It was about race?
good- Yeah.
I'm about to look that up then. Okay, so yeah, he responded. Madonna
What's she doing?
receives backlash on Twitter showing black son stomp the racist.
Where
Why
did
does
this
go?
it say Radonna should
I think we were good on like the '90s movies.
yeah.
Talking
I feel
about.
Now Madonna did what?
Bro, we need positiveness. We just had a
Yeah.
great 90s
It's
conversation.
like, what did she
so-
do with herself?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like we did
For some
our
reason,
job.
I thought that was gonna talk about a nip
Real
slip.
quick, I want to ask you
know
about
why.
one last movie.
Okay, go ahead.
The Girl Next Door.
Never seen it.
Never seen
Girl
it.
next.
Sounds familiar though. I feel like Stacy's mom
He's
is the
hurt.
reason
Look
that
at his
it's so-
face. Look at his
That's
face.
not
Yeah.
Maybe that was just like a white guy thing. But
No,
man,
no,
that
no.
movie goes fucking hard.
For
There's
real?
a lot of
All right,
movies
I'll
like
watch
that,
it.
bro.
I'll watch it.
It's
though.
about this dude.
Because I like first. That's not the same, but Ferris Bueller's Day.
Because
Off,
there's
I fucking
probably
love that
somebody
shit,
who's
too.
seen it. I know somebody who's probably seen it, and I
2000s?
know I haven't seen it.
2000s?
at all, so
2000,
we'll watch it
like
together.
4 or 5, but it's about
Okay.
like some dude in high school and he gets a new neighbor.
Yeah. Is the blonde
And-
chick?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Then
And she's a
I
porn
might have
star?
seen
Wait a
some of it.
minute.
Yeah, oh, okay.
What?
She's a
Wait a
porn
minute.
star. Yeah.
I fucking know this movie.
I probably seen it on like HBO. or
That movie's
something.
fucking fire.
Yeah, I know this.
Yeah.
This shit's
Okay.
because
He's like kind
I
of
know
like
this shit.
like the loser school with his homies. They're kind of like outcasts.
Bro,
Yeah.
I
But then,
remember.
like the porn star moves next door.
Yeah.
And they become tight.
Yeah.
That is fucking crazy.
And
Bro.
they like
Imagine
have
that
a
was real
project.
life.
He has a project to make like a sex ed type movie.
Yeah.
And they get the porn stars to make the sex ed.
Oh shit.
Sex ed.
Okay,
movie.
I'm with
barely
it. I'm with
remember.
it. I'm with it.
Fire.
I'm gonna watch it then.
Classic.
And guess what? I bet it's on HBO Max.
HBO Max. As a matter of fact, remember the 3 movies we mentioned? Indian in the Cupboard, what else?
Small
Soldiers.
and Avatar. I was gonna say earlier, but I was like,
Avatar.
No,
Yeah,
you brought up
I mentioned
Avatar.
Avatar.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
were
because the
talking about
soldier
that.
looked like him.
That's
Yeah.
what we'll
I
go
mentioned
out
that.
on
The
soldier
because
that look like him.
that because that's what I'll let you go ahead
Yeah.
finish. I know.
I'll let you finish.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I had the best podcast of all time.
Y'all ain't shitting on us.
That was a perfect.
Yeah, that was.
I'm gonna let you finish.
That was. I'm gonna let you finish, but the 3-0 podcast is the greatest podcast in the area.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Put the hands up. Straight Kanye
I
moment.
do. What were you gonna say? No, I was just gonna say like because you brought up Avatar too, but I was gonna say, do you notice like the thread between those 3 movies alone, where it's like sort of like the indigenous people being attacked by like soldiers or and I was just like, what is up with that? Because like Indian in the Cupboard, and then like
It
in
damn
Small
sure sells
Soldiers,
in the box office.
those creatures were like Native Americans.
Yeah, they were,
And then
yeah.
Avatar, those creatures were Native Americans.
Columbus.
I was like, what?
Y'all ever see Fern Gully?
Damn.
I know about that though, but I
I've
haven't
seen
seen
it,
it.
but
Yeah,
it's
I
been
heard
so
of it.
long I forgot. Yeah.
Go
but
back and rewatch it. It is Avatar.
For real?
Oh,
Oh,
shit!
shit.
Really?
That is
Avatar
Avatar.
before Avatar?
Same thing.
Really?
Oh,
Like
shit.
fairies in a forest and they're knocking down the forest type shit. Yep.
Oh shit! Damn.
Yeah.
I remember that movie
classic.
vividly too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Man,
great. It's one of those movies.
I don't want to
where-
watch it anymore because I always thought and always championed Avatar for being so original.
Oh really?
When I saw Avatar,
That's like
I was
Native
this
American
is
story.
Fern
I mean,
Gully,
it's
but
a-
like 3D and shit.
Yeah.
It's the
Oh my
attack
God.
of
True,
like
way better CGI.
English or Native
Yeah.
Americans.
I
Story,
guess I
really.
was just really like intrigued by the world they created. I thought it was dope.
Oh, it was.
Wasn't there supposed to be a sequel to Avatar?
They're doing it. I've been
was.
Yeah,
paying
they're making
attention.
like
They're still doing it.
3 or something.
They're still doing it. They took hey
shit
man,
better
look,
be
they took
fire.
about 10 years for the first one. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Who fucking
Because the
knows?
director, he like.
I know and I
Oh,
care.
yeah.
I've been paying attention. Don't downplay my shit.
Shit.
Hey, but look, I have the perfect thing to go out on, yo.
All right.
That Avatar: The Last Airbender
Oh,
Oh, it's
okay.
not
is
number 2
on,
one. What's the name
is
now?
on
HBO.
HBO.
I know. No, it's on Netflix.
But it's on HBO Max too.
It's,
That's
it's
like
on
a-
Netflix.
Maybe it is.
Americanized anime shit. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
American.
You're one of those people.
That's what it is. Oh.
Damn.
We opened up a box.
He pulled the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
I never watched it. I've heard
Yeah.
it's good, but like when I saw like Nickelodeon had like an anime, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Damn,
bro.
bro.
Tsunami
Avatar
all
Last
day.
Anime
I heard,
fire,
it's, I
bro.
heard it's really good.
It's
fire,
gangster,
bro.
bro. It's
It's fire.
gangster.
I
I gotta check it out.
I thought everybody had seen it just because it
Yeah.
seemed like we were vibing.
No, yeah. No. The Avatar cartoon, like I
thought
never
we were
really
friends.
seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, until you.
I was
brought
about
up
to
that
say-
Until a
cultural
friend
approach.
introduced me to
I was
it.
about-
anime.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
Straight up.
I was about to say. So what kind of benders are you? But never mind.
It's like, what do you think about the movie?
We can just end this honestly.
Yeah.
It was a good podcast, yo.
We had a
I
good
feel,
run
Yeah.
into
I feel like
Avatar.
we came, we saw, we conquered. We knew we
Yeah.
kind of had a
Then we
loose
separated.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we had a loose
Divide and
idea. What
conquer.
I feel like we got important shit out
Out the
on
way
this,
early.
You know what I
like,
mean?
Yeah, super early.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, everything to 3O Podcast.
Bell notified.
Let them know where to follow you, where to find you too.
Yeah.
Oh, at Nance on Instagram, Nance Raps on Twitter.
Yeah, and Nance on TikTok too, right? What is it on
You
TikTok?
got the platforms. I am Nance on TikTok.
Yeah, yeah.
Nance.
You got the
Yeah,
TikTok. Damn,
yeah.
what is it?
So, and if you've been watching this, y'all know Nance won, and y'all have seen. We've talked about his TikToks before on the podcast too. So,
Yeah, I
man.
appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah,
I was
most definitely.
hyped when I saw that.
Yeah,
that.
yeah, most definitely. But yeah, yo, thank you for coming. Like, comment, share, subscribe, everything. YouTube, SoundCloud, all that shit.
Hit that bell notification.
Hit that bell
Yeah.
notification as well too, and keep your head up, stay positive, y'all.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up time for everybody. That's if you, I guess, I don't even want to say woke, but if you're not blind to see what's going on out here, it's a terrible time for a lot of people. So,
and it's 2020. How can you not see clearly?
make sure you
like
stay positive. Make sure black people and black men, make sure y'all stay safe out here. Don't move too recklessly without a real plan. Make sure you planning and you're strategic with all your movements, even if it's going to the grocery store. You know what I mean? It's just a high alert time for all of us.
Speak power in each other, man.
And uplift each other. Let each other know that we got each other's back when we see each other in public and shit. You know, that goes a long way when you don't have to worry about your brother, doing something to you, because there's obviously a bigger enemy, which is the police right now in the system. So ain't no reason for us to be bickering back and forth with each other and fucking with each other. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel that when I go out, it's like if I see another black man, it's like, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way we'll ever have a problem, no matter what happens in the store. I got your back. You know what I mean? So keep that energy going. And we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
That's it.
You just watched we could start over if you'd like.
Hey!
You just watched the 3 Oak podcast instead of listening to it.
You just watched the 3 Oak podcast. Okay.
Thank you for watching the 3 Oak podcast.
Subscribe.
Listen to that guy.